into the can or the sun itself. Explode the sun, my dear gentlemen. You explode the universe.
Your lips are stained with fiction. You always have your reasons, and I spoil you rotten. Your hands are sealed in pockets. You fill them with your secrets. To you, I am nothing. I am.
Well. That's 7 wells as we get into week 7 of the AML. My name is Moose, and I'm here with Tiger, and we're ready for the final week of the regular season. Tiger, how are you?
I'm doing well. That was a pretty neat intro there, but I'm pretty excited about tonight's match. Of course, going into the last week of the regular season, we're talking about some big playoff implications. We got Team Ambition Shogun versus Vespa B team. We'll see who's going to be able to come out on top.
Yes, and you said it, you hit the nail right on the head there, Tiger. Final week of the regular season, we're going to be going into a Void Division matchup. Team Ambition Shogun versus the Vespa B team. Shogun currently 4-1, looking to be able to hold on to that second spot. Vespa B team potentially fighting for their tournament lives here. If they lose this game, they will. If they lose 0-2, they will be at the same level as the Glacial Commandos, which could potentially mean that they fall into an eliminated team. So, big implications for this game. Let's go ahead and jump into it right now. Team Ambition Shogun going to be over on the blue side. We've got the Vespa B team going to be over on the red. Zaya, Thresh, Wukong, Vladimir, Yumi. A lot of champions across the rift getting banned away. A lot of target bans for some of these players, especially from Vespa, trying to be able to avoid that Vladimir that we've been seeing played a lot for Vespa B team.
Yeah, a lot of scaling picks being taken off the board here. With the Yumi rework, she's definitely even further towards that scaling side at this point. Zaya, one of the best late game hyper carries. Vladimir scales up very hard. Sometimes I think that when you're banning away later game picks, that's because you also want to pick later game picks and you don't want to get outscaled with the picks that you're looking for. But you can also be in a situation where that just kind of counters some of the things that you want to do in general. I don't think that we'll see how the draft is taking shape until we get into the R4, R5 type of area of the draft. I think that those are usually some of the defining picks. Can just get some good engage from the jungle here, and that appears to be the case for both of these teams.
Yes, so J4 going to be picked up immediately for Shogun. J4 has been rising up the ranks in the jungle tier lists. That has been seen in a lot of different games at several levels, especially in the Master, Grandmaster level. The ability to be able to go in and just start to snowball the game into your team's favor by getting those early ganks off, finding those flash, flag, and drags to confirm either flashes on the other team or kills is really important. And now Vespa B team is going to have to find a way to respond to that, potentially recognizing that Zeri is also on the table here. We have seen a lot of Zeri Lulu come in with the J4, the opportunity then to knock up players in the Cataclysm with that wild growth and to just be able to get a lot of damage within it makes sense. Jinx also filling that role, another one of those champions that has been rising up in the ranks here. And Shogun is definitely hovering it right now. It would be, I think, a solid B2 pickup to go up against that Karma Sejuani, especially that Karma in the laning phase, which is going to potentially have a difficult time being able to get to the backline to hit those inner flames and to get those damages.
A lot of good abilities that can go with the Cataclysm, but with the Jinx lock-in, I'd like to see Team Ambition Shogun go more heavily towards pick than just going for big AoE abilities. Because when you've got the Jinx, all you got to do is get the first kill of the fight. Once you get the first kill, Jinx gets excited, and all of a sudden you got a 1v5 situation occurring on your hands. So that's all you need to do, set up that first kill. I think Nautilus works pretty well with that. Jarvan, of course, capable of finding big engages onto single targets, setting up some picks potentially. And I think that going into the second half of the draft, on blue side, when you have such a consistent theme that you can always go towards, then that's something that's pretty easy to follow up on with just sound picks on the B4, B5 side. I'm excited to see what Vespa B team's going to do in response. Picking up this Kaisa, not the most synergistic with Karma, but maybe you flex the Karma towards some top lane Karma, some mid lane Karma. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, it is a little weird to see that Karma, get, like you said, get paired up with that Kaisa. You want the Karma there for a lot of the early game pressure, and there's a couple of champions that can play a lot more synergistically with that. Something like an Ezreal or something that's able to pop off a little bit sooner and to get that early damage in is what we expect to see. But Kaisa can get into the backline and kind of deny the opportunity that a Jinx or a Jinx can have with dealing that damage. If you land any sort of damage on the Jinx here in this game, which in 4 Team Ambition Shogun is going to be rapid fire, if you end up hitting rapid fire with anything, the Kaisa is going to be able to come in, and Renfis will be able to potentially find that killer instinct and get that burst damage in to completely obliterate that Jinx before those resets come in. And so now you're looking to be able to find a way to either capitalize on that for the Kaisa or find a way to mitigate that here for Team Ambition Shogun. And we're going to be seeing some bans in the mid lane and in the top lane because both teams need to still fill out their rosters with the solo lanes. Sylas and Gwen going to get taken away. A couple of scalers, especially a very stable mid laner right now in that Sylas getting taken away. Sion, an interesting pickup here against Vespa B team that is a target ban against HP Gamer 7, who has played a lot of Sion here in the AML, along with that Shen. Now, his Shen is very powerful. We've only seen it one time because it's also been banned away a couple of times from him. But the last game that we saw him play against Death Cards, going 6-1 and 13 on that Shen. So it definitely makes sense that HP Gamer is going to get targeted here in the second phase of the pick ban.
We got to see some very specific follow-up for the Vespa B team in the second half of the draft here. I like where Ornn's going. You got some potential for dive, not the most dive-oriented champions, but what I needed to see here was 2 melee champions to go alongside the Sejuani, and you want champions that are good with dive so that you can also have the Kaisa complementing them. Now, I wouldn't be too surprised to see something in the mid lane that's going to be like an assassin. Honestly, I think a Kiana could be really big here for Vespa B team if they do play that.
We'll see what they do decide to go for. I'm not seeing any Kiana on Wind Trading or Mugiwara's lineup in terms of champions that they do play. Vigar has been something that has been kind of a shadow pickup here and something that can be very nerve-wracking. And now with the Sylas getting taken away, now you don't have to worry about that primordial burst getting stolen. Vigar can be picked up here, and it also kind of rounds out your composition, getting a good mix of AD and AP as we move from the mid game into the late game. Going to be going up against that Syndra, so both champions wanting to be able to scale up a little bit. And I think it's going to be a very interesting mid lane play here in the early game because both Sejuani and J4 now have 2 relatively easy champions to be able to potentially gank. And if Flash gets taken very early on either one of these mid laners, it could be a very explosive mid lane oriented game.
True. There's definitely a lot of setup going on in the mid lane, especially once the level 3s come through for both of them. So there could be a lot of fighting around there. I think bot lane going to be a little bit more difficult to see anything going down because the bot lane from Vespa B team is going to be able to just shield up try to disengage that pretty easily, and they don't have a lot of engage to speak of for themselves. But I also think the top lane could get a little bit spicy. I mean, Mordekaiser and Ornn are like the easiest champions to gank, easiest champions to take down. But they've got some setup, and they've got a surprising amount of damage on each of them themselves. So we could even see some solo kills in the top lane, depending on how these players want to play the matchup out.
Oh yeah. And that's I think what is really really cool here I think for this game in general is that we have been seeing a lot of bottom lane shenanigans in the AML every week. It just feels like the bottom lane, the ADCs have been the ones that have been popping off, and there is a chance for both Rapid Fire and for Renfist to pop off here with their supports in the laning phase, get those solo kills and start to snowball themselves. But I really feel like this game is going to be decided at the top side of the rift. It's going to be decided at that Baron pit. I think for Shogun, it is a necessity to get the early Rift Herald. Maybe not necessarily needing to get the early Dragon, but definitely the early Rift Herald here. You want to be able to make sure that that Mordekaiser or the Vigar can start to scale up and get to that first item power spike as soon as possible. That Rift Maker just so important on Severe here in this game to be able to be that threat in the side lane. If you look at Vespa's lineup, they don't really have a response to any sort of side lane pressure that Severe could potentially try to go for. You're going to send the Ornn potentially, but at some point, the Mordekaiser is just going to be able to outdamage the Ornn, and it's going to be a lot more challenging for Vespa to be able to take them down in the side lane, and then you teleport in for those team fights, you get somebody into the Death Realm, and there's a chance then for Severe to pop off. And looking at the stat lines, Severe has popped off the entirety of the AML here, Tiger. We've seen several games where they have not died a single time. Up against Primal Instinct Masters in week 3, 6-0 and 6 on that Mordekaiser in that game. We saw the Mordekaiser played against Death Cards, ended up going 3-4 and 0 in that one. So and that one was a loss, but overall, really strong KDA on this top laner, and it's going to be very interesting to see how HP Gamer, who's had a pretty solid season themselves, not potentially as stellar, but definitely still very popular and very good, is going to be able to navigate that.
Yeah, gonna be a big matchup in pretty much all of the lanes. I mean, the top lane definitely one of the most heavily hyped matchups in this day. But I think that we're going to get a lot of fighting here. We got a lot of engaged tools for both sides, so this should be an exciting match. And I think that we're seeing like that Team Ambition Shogun's comp is a little bit more synergistic with the same team champions, but with the way that Vespa's team comp is set up, I think that they could be in a really good position if they get ahead because they're really hard to kill. I mean, Ornn, Sejuani, Karma, all of these champions contribute to making it difficult to get into the back line. And even Kaisa's got some mobility. Syndra's got some self-peel. So Vespa going to be trying to get ahead early on. Team Ambition going to try to not let that happen. And they've got some comeback mechanics even if they do fall behind. But if they do end up falling behind, then it's going to be a lot on the Jinx to carry the rest of the team. And if you ever get picked off, then that's going to be a very dangerous situation.
Right. You know, you bring up a really good point there. And I think that that's going to be something that we are going to be very excited. I'm very excited to look into to see, what is going to happen next year for both of these teams. Who's going to be able to take this win and who's going to be able to find the victory. Team Ambition Shogun losing out to Death Cards instead of Sad Boys means that if they are able to tie in match record and win game record here with Team Ambition or with the Sad Boys, unfortunately, they will still be behind a game. So I do believe that Sad Boys has locked in their spot in the playoffs. They're just now going in for seeding, moving into the qualifiers. But regardless of that, being able to maintain that second seed is definitely going to be good here. And I am very excited to see how game one is going to be played out for both of these teams. Now, we got to talk about the Dragon picks. We got to talk about how poorly I have been doing here in the Dragon selection in season 13. You have had a slightly better chance of getting the correct dragon. So I will go first this time. I'm gonna go with the Mountain Drake, Mountain Soul here in game one. What are your thoughts? What's your prediction here, Tiger?
I am sensing Ocean. Ocean will be the soul.
Ocean. Frank Ocean, Ocean's 11, things like that. It's going to be fun. I'm excited to
Mhm.
see who's going to be able to get the right dragon. I'm excited to see who's going to be able to win this game as we got ourselves into the final week of the regular season. This is the AML now really in full swing. So we're going to be right back. We'll jump into game one here in just a moment. Take care. See you guys soon. Welcome back, everybody, to the AML, where we are now just 1 week away from getting into the qualifiers. Time is now for players to start to take control of their destinies. My name is Moose, joined here today by the one and only Tiger, and of course, none of this would be possible without the amazing production of our producer, Wookie Monster. Shout out to Wookie for being there game in, series in, season in, and season out, making sure that things are running smoothly. So get that shout out of the way. Let me get some thank you, Wookie Monsters, in the chat. And man, Tiger, you know, it has flown by. This regular season has just flown by. because of how fun and how amazing these games have been. I don't think I've been disappointed by a single series so far.
Absolutely not. We've had some fantastic matchups going on. Every week there's been some back and forth at some level. A lot of weeks we've had 3 games, so we've gotten just about all that we could have asked for out of this regular season. Hopefully this is the star on top of the Christmas tree that has been this split of AML. But then the playoffs are coming next, so it's even gonna get more hype from here on out. It's just it's a sandwich of excitement.
Yeah, and considering how important this game is for VESPA B team, they are on the razor's edge every single game, every single minion wave. All of it could potentially be the difference between going into the qualifiers and not. So it's very important for them to win out in this series, at least win a game so that they have the best chance of making it into playoffs, or I'm not playoffs, but qualifiers, which starting next week, going to be 5 p.m., same time, same channel. But, when we get into the playoffs, remember, those are best of 5. So you're going to have to drop your calendar, change your calendar a little bit. Those are going to be starting at 4 p.m. instead of 5 PST. So just keep that in mind as we move into the next couple of weeks and we move into the postseason here. For now, though, going back to this game, both the VESPA B team and Shogun have been in a relatively even state. Both topside jungle clears for Harambe and Riddy. Going to be some warding there from the side of Respirit to know where Harambe is at. But so far, a regular game for both of these teams. I want to draw your attention. I want to get your opinion on Wind Trading's Keystone. Deciding to go with that Predator, deciding to go with the Tear of the Goddess. I've not really been seeing a lot of Predator from Vygar recently. I mean, I've been seeing a little bit more of that first strike. I've been seeing the opportunities to go for some different Keystones. What's your opinion on Predator? Do you like it? Is it your favorite?
Well, I definitely enjoy some Predator gameplay, just fun to watch. But I also think that in this situation, when you're playing around a Jinx, that Predator is the right idea. You're using your Veigar as a pick tool, not just as a damage source. You understand the situation. I hope that Wind Trading plays around this in the understanding that you're not looking for kills in the 1v1. Maybe you get to set up a gank every now and again in the mid lane, but you really want to just avoid interacting with Luke's Syndra here. So gonna have to make sure that that's the case. But I do like the Predator overall, and I think that it will work well in the later stages of the game.
Yeah, and like you said, being able to find those opportunities to be able to move around the map and to go in for those flanks is going to be very important here. We're going to get our first real gank of the game. Severe and be forced to flash away from Harambe, who got that nice knockup, followed up by HP Gamer. Grasp the Undying for this Ornn. No mana though, but Harambe is going to be there. They are going to push forward onto the minion wave, just try to crash that so that HP Gamer can go back, teleport back into the minion wave and be just fine. Severe, however, taking a lot of damage, going to be stunned out, will be getting the protection of Riddy. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, that's going to be a Dredge line landing on Autumn. The Ignite is going to be used. 100 HP on this Karma, but we'll be able to get out of that.
Going to be flashes on the opposite side of the map for each team down, but that means that it's more opportunity to push the waves in. I do believe that Severe was able to at least partially freeze the wave. Ended up pushing it back out now, I see, so it's not going to be a big deal. But I thought that the attempt there was to keep the wave from getting under tower. I saw that the cannon minion got there, but I thought that there were some casters that hadn't yet. But if you got to take a reset, crashing the wave, never a bad idea. Gonna get that preferable recall, get a little bit extra on the itemization there. I think it's going to be about even here, but watch for reganks coming through potentially. Got to be pretty quick if it's going to happen, because level 6 for Mordekaiser makes it pretty much impossible to gank him. But if they want to look for something, maybe they'll be able to find a play here.
We'll see what they do decide to go for. I mean, Rift Herald is going to be spawning in 2.5 minutes, so going up for a gank now might be a little early. You might be a little sad because there's not really much more that you can do, especially since both junglers did decide to go for a topside clear. maybe in 45 seconds or so, we'll see something happen. But regardless of that, Dragon is now spawned. It has been up for about a minute or so, and Riddy is going to be first on the case here, going for that Cloud Drake. There is no vision from the side of VESPA B team to try to be able to go in for any sort of response. And on top of that, we got Respirate and Rapid Fire also pushing into that minion wave. They have crashed that in. Autumn and Renthis are denied the chance to potentially retaliate, and that's going to be a nice Dragon take here for Team Ambition Shogun.
Doing pretty well here in the early game, especially on the bottom side of the map, taking advantage of this matchup where they've got the kill pressure. You know, you've got the Nautilus hook. That's enough to force out a flash early on from Autumn. Now it's enough to get the wave pushed under tower, set up a Drake, and good collapse as well from wind trading. That means that there's really no chance there for VESPA to ever walk up towards it, even if they had been thinking about it. And that means first Drake going to go over to the side of Team Ambition Shogun. Second Drake going to come up. Was it a Hex Tech or a Chem Tech? It looks like it's a Chem Tech Drake that will be coming up second. So picking that one up, pretty good for either side. There's some shielding that could be done. A little bit of some life steal that could come through from this Mordekaiser as well would be particularly nice if you are Team Ambition Shogun.
Yeah, and with that, you know, coming in, Rift Herald also spawning in 30 seconds. This is going to be the play here to try to maybe set something up to guarantee that Rift Herald. Luke RTG going to try to go in. The Scout of the Week's going to be dropped, and that's the flash immediately after that Cataclysm. Wind trading, unable to land the event horizon, but regardless, no flash on your Syndra, no teleport on your Syndra, and Riddy is still continuing to try to be able to come through. He will smite away that big chicken and will take some extra gold. Rift Herald now spawning in 2 seconds. It is on the table for either team to go for.
Could be either side going for it, but I think that with the pressure that we've seen early on from Shogun, should be able to have priority around it if they want to go for it. I've been a little bit surprised to see that wind trading has been able to get push in the lane. I would have thought Syndra always would be able to push forward in the 1v1 matchup. Maybe there's been some support coming through from Riddy in advance of these objectives to help out with that, get that wave pushing. But as we can see, Luke has the health bar advantage here, so there shouldn't be any reason why it's getting pushed in too far forward. And with that in mind, I think that the Rift Herald is going to stay on the map for a little while here before either side tries to go for it.
9 minutes into the game, Noon Quivers are unlocked for both Rapid Fire and Renthis. Rapid Fire also going with that cleanse. Considering the amount of CC that's on the side of VESPA B team, I do not disagree with that decision. Just trying to be able to find some sort of protection. And Harambe is going to be seen in the bottom lane, clearing out those wards. And that is the immediate start of the Rift Herald from Riddy, who cleans that up nicely. Right now, it is feeling as though this sort of passive state of the game is playing into Shogun's favor, who has had the advantage in macro in the first 10 minutes.
They haven't gotten a big lead off of it or anything, but they have done a nice job of picking up that first Drake. Gonna be looking for another kill here in the mid lane.
Yeah, and Luke RTG has no flash. Gonna get knocked up, and that will be first blood for Riddy. Support for Respirit on this Nautilus, who came in with the depth charge to secure it. And that is a good first blood here for Team Ambition Shogun.
Very punishable flash in that mid lane area, and just walking up with the engaged champions. You got enough damage with that Iron Spike whip, so might as well go for it. Riddy picking up that first blood, going to be able to increase the pace in the jungle, get more threat on any future ganks coming out. I've been surprised to see how little there has been in the way of ganking. A couple ganks toward mid lane. Oh, wind trading.
Wow, wind trading with the Primordial Burst and the emotes. That's going to be their first kill, and that extra nice play there, as Autumn is now going to be very much in trouble. Heal is going to be used by Renthis to try to be able to keep their Karma alive, and they will be able to stay alive here for the time being. Respirit and Rapid Fire kind of playing a little bit with fire here. Riddy is on the way, does not have Cataclysm. Iron Spike Whipped is ready to go, and Riddy is going to come through and drop that Rift Herald a play here to potentially get the first tower of the game. Shelly's going to come in and get that guaranteed headbutt, and that will crash, leaving about 1 turret's plate worth of health remaining. They won't be able to finish the job, but Riddy and Respirit are now moving forward on that lane with a slight CS lead in comparison to Renfus and Autumn.
And probably pretty major gold lead with 4 plates having been taken. Can we check the individual gold matchup here in that bottom side? It's about 500 in favor of Rapid Fire. It's not going to be like game altering or anything, but it's just a nice early advantage. We're going to see now on the resets, that's going to give an opportunity for VESPA B team to try to counteract here with a play around the Drake, but this could get spotted out by Riddy.
Yeah, Riddy does have the Cataclysm ready. Flash is coming through, but he will not be able to get it. And he's going to be forced to flash away, but the Cataclysm actually to go in. Riddy baiting out Autumn. And that's going to be a 1-for-1 as the Infernal Drake comes through. That will be the Event Horizon landing onto the Sejuani. And a kill for Rapid Fire. They don't get the Dragon. We don't get the Dragon prediction correct. But it is 2 kills for Team Ambition Shogun.
No dragon for anyone, but I think that is a worthwhile exchange if you are Team Ambition Shogun. Going to be pretty happy about getting particularly that kill onto Rapid Fire, but Riddy is starting to be in a position where you can expect a lot of carry potential out of this Jarvan. Already got first item complete, that Gore Drinker, doing a lot of work in that last fight. Going to be able to keep him alive and allow for a few more kills to go through for Shogun, and be looking to expand upon their early advantages here with a foray into the top side of the map.
All right, HP Gamer is going to be the first target here of this onslaught. He's going to get knocked back into the Event Horizon, and the Call of the Forge God doesn't even get its second headbutt. Wind will pick up their second kill and will now net a 200 gold bounty on their head. Predator is going to be popped immediately to try to land the Event Horizon, which is going to be assisted there by Spirit. Autumn is going to try to flash away. That is a miss on the rocket, but a win for Wind Trading to pick up their 3rd kill and another 5 AP based on that phenomenal evil power that's coming through. We get an AP check on this Vigar. 150 stacks in 13.5 minutes.
Yep, up to 270 AP already. Going to be in a very strong spot now with the 3-0-1 scoreline as well. In a reset finish item here, I wouldn't be surprised to see a lane swap starting to come through with that tower being taken in the bottom side. I think that you want to get this Jinx in an area where there's more gold to be picked up. Plate's about to fall, so it does look like we're going to see the rotation of the bot lane switching with the mid for TA Shogun. Probably going to be followed up with the same from VESPA B team here. Not too long from now. Got a little bit over 2 minutes on the next Drake coming up. That's going to be a point where we might see some contention. Both sides picking up a Drake early on. But with the big gold lead now in favor of Shogun, I think VESPA B team may have to give this one up.
Yeah, I don't know what the response right now for VESPA B team is. You do pick up some good items. The Jack Show going to be completed there for HP Gamer along with the Ludens and the Kraken Slayer. Of course, HP Gamer 3 levels away from being able to get those ornaments dropped for their team, and that's going to be a slight power spike for your team as you move forward. But Severe 0-0-1 with that Riftmaker is still in the level advantage. 4 mythic items to 3 at the moment with that Iron Spike Whip getting unlocked. And, you know, that again is the power of the J4 as we start games. Riddy with the opportunity to be just so impactful in the laning phase, get into an early advantage against Harambe, and to be able to, you know, potentially then equate that into assisting the rest of the team in getting those kills, which he has done well so far. No one has died yet on the Shogun squad, and so far they've been playing a flawless game.
A smile has once again appeared on my face, Moose, because we see not only is this a Predator Veigar, but it is an Everfrost Veigar. Going to be maximizing that pick potential, going to be getting as much value on the utility as possible. and I think that we're going to see a lot more from the 5v5 coming through from Team Ambition Shogun. I think they'll want to stay out into the 1-3-1 sort of situation for a little while longer here, but if they can ever get a 5-man Baron push, that's going to be very devastating.
I completely agree. And now Riddy might be devastated here. Flash immediately by Luke RTG on the Syndra. You have to wonder, was that the correct decision to go for a Syndra R5, knowing that it was a Vigar and a J4? Once again, pretty much on cooldown. No flash for the Syndra.
Going to be difficult to survive that, and I mean, there's not like a ton of picks where it would make sense to go into this matchup and be safer. I mean, if Luke wanted to play a control mage, this was pretty much going to be the situation no matter what. But you could have looked for something like an Annie that may be a little safer.
And Riddy is going to get shut down. That was an unsafe flag and drag. First death against Vespa, and a little bit of redemption here for them as they are now going to be able to clear out and get this second dragon. What is the response from TA Shogun? All 5 members going for a dragon that doesn't need all 5 members to go up against. A little bit of an error there as they get the dragon, but they lose the inner mid tower, Tiger. I think that's a trade that Team Ambition Shogun will take. And now they're going to be able to move forward as they're going to get the stun in on to HP Gamer, who will end up going down. A lot of damage onto that Ornn immediately, and that is your front line dead. Harambe has already dropped that Glacial Prison as Wind Trading is going to try to come through, is going to land some damage onto Luke RTG, and the Flash are going to come forward. Severe will take down Luke. We've got Respirit trying to be able to get more as Autumn's trying to be able to get away. Respirit's going to be able to come in. He's going to get the root. Rapid Fire will get the kill. And in a 4v5, Team Ambition Shogun's going to get all 5 members. It is a complete wipe for Vespa B team. And Team Ambition Shogun is going to be able to win out on that fight. They'll take the inner and the inhibitor tower.
Wow, what a fight from Respirit. Gonna be able to come out and hit multiple hooks there to set up kills. I have to check on my pronunciation. I'm not sure if it's Respirit or Respirit, but whatever it is, it's a lot of good Nautilus hooks coming out. And I think that going back to what you were saying, it was a trade that would have been good for Team Ambition Shogun, but they can kind of force that with how far ahead that they are, and Vespa B team would be at least feeling good about picking up that Drake. You know, trading 2 towers for it, not the best, but it at least would give them more time. But then losing on the back end of the play as well, a 3-for-1 fight in the 4v5 from Team Ambition Shogun, that hurts a lot more for Vespa. They're now in a position where their base has been broken. We're not even at 20 minutes yet. They're going to have to find a way to get out on the map in time for the Baron to spawn, because this Baron take is pretty fast coming out from Shogun. Just the Jinx damage alone is going to do a lot of work. But Mordekaiser and Jarvan actually have a deceptive amount of DPS as well to objectives. So they're going to have to be really careful about this situation. Vespa B team probably in a spot where they're looking to find a throw from Shogun to have any hope.
Riddy going to try to find Renthis here, and that's going to be half HP on Renthis. Killer Instinct already used, and now Respirit's going to come in with the depth charge. The rocket does not land. It gets a little bit of damage in onto Luke, and Renthis is going to be now at 1 HP. Respirit's going to try to come in. He's going to be at half HP himself, and will go golden at the last second to avoid the unleashed power. Respirit survives, and it's 2 kills for Wind. A double kill. Rapid Fire will pick up another one for 3, and another victory in this game for Team Ambition Shogun. HP Gamer couldn't even win out in the 1v1 against Severe, and now with all 5 members up there looking to go towards Baron.
Shouldn't be any trouble here. Gonna be able to continue pushing in the bot lane at the same time. This is a win on all sides of the map for Team Ambition Shogun. Up over 10,000 gold now. We'll see if Severe is gonna have enough damage for the solo kill. I think probably not. But gonna be able to at least push the wave in, and now with the Baron buff, gonna be able to start threatening this tower.
Yeah, and it's now just a matter of time to see what Severe and the rest of Team Ambition Shogun are going to do to close out this game. You know, Freak used to say that, you know, when the amount of gold on the map is 10%, whereas if the lead is more than 10% of the total gold on the map, the game has now really won. And with 70,000 gold like across the rift, and with a 10,000 gold lead, you're looking at, you know, 13% of the total gold on the map being a gold lead here for Shogun. It's really difficult, I think, for VESPA to be able to come back into this one. And now it's a matter of trying to figure out, how do you stop the game from completely going out of your control? How do you stop that inhibitor from going down? How do you stop this game from being a complete snowball? And that's the big challenge that VESPA B team is going to have to go for here. As we get a play coming in, a lot of damage under Spirit is going to be caught out of position, and that is a big play. Spirit's going to go down without being able to drop much of that CC in a good spot. What a drag from Severe! Going to be able to put in a lot of damage on Olympus and Harambe, but a stun's going to land on a rapid fire. The call of quarter that's going to come through. That's a play they wanted on the Kaisa, and that is a shutdown on to Wind Trading. Rapid fire will die as well, and that is multiple members of this Shogun squad going down, and big shutdowns onto Renfis and this Kaisa.
And now wait a second, because now we've got the third Drake of the game potentially for VESPA B team coming up. Looks like Riddy and Severe are still going to stick around and try to fight for it. Teleport going to come in from both members of VESPA B team, it looks like. Going to be looking to take this one down. Should have a winning fight, but I'm not sure if they're going to be bold enough to go for it. Still down by quite a large amount.
Yeah, now the Dragon's going to come through. Riddy and Severe both still have their Baron buffs. Riddy could potentially try to get this, but it would be a soul point if they're able to come through. As Wind Trading's going to go in, Spirit's going to come through as well. The Event Horizon's going to land tons of damage on a Harambe, and the Dragon will be stolen by Wind. That's the rocket landing on a Harambe. That's the rocket landing on an HP Gamer, and 3 kills for Team Ambition Shogun, who are still able to drop the wallet and still show that they are the ones in control of this game.
Well, they gave a little glimmer of hope here for VESPA B team, but it wasn't to be. The Drake take was just a little bit too slow. Renfis wasn't able to get out and put out the DPS necessary. Nice engage there. Able to find a lot of CC on the key members, particularly locking down Harambe, not going to allow any smiting to come through. The Drake ended up resetting, which was a bit unfortunate for VESPA B team, but, you know, that's just how the game flies sometimes. Oh, gonna get a nice pick here. That might be able to delay long enough to get at least one more fight.
Glacial Prison's going to drop as well. The call of the Forge got onto Wind, who gets bullied there. All the CC landing onto the Tiny Master of Evil, who will end up going down. That is a Rabadon's death cap being completed for this Vygar, though, and you have to assume that we are reaching that inevitable 1,000 AP mark on this Vygar very soon. Baron's going to be spawning in 2 minutes, and as you stated, Tiger, getting Rapid Fire dead means that VESPA B team is going to be able to potentially stabilize this map a little bit, push out the waves, and potentially prepare for a Baron fight if they do choose to fight it.
Well, they're going to start getting the Ornn upgrades coming through here. Going to at least get one last push. Maybe that's going to give them the boost that they need. I don't expect it to, but you never know. I would like to see an adaptation going forward from Team Ambition Shogun to recognize when you're this far ahead, you don't really need to be playing all sides of the map. Just group up to make sure that nothing terrible can happen. The only way that this game is lost is if a ton of terrible things happen in a row. So just don't let that happen by grouping as 5.
All right, Depth Charge is going to be dropped on Harambe, and a fight is going to continue as the stun lands on a Rapid Fire, but the emotes will come out, and Rapid Fire will take the kill onto Harambe. A minute 20 remaining on the Baron spawn, but with your main CC dealer taken out of the picture, the rest of Team Ambition Shogun might be able to close out this game with a play here down on the bottom side of the Rift. Maybe not close out the game, but at least get the double super minion spawning. And it looks like they're going to be able to do that as Wind Trading is going to drop the Predator, not able to land a stun onto anybody, but is able to get that inhibitor to go down. That is all 3 lanes now with super minions, double super minions spawn. That should deny VESPA the opportunity to be able to go for any sort of Baron play. Event Horizon's not going to land this time, and it does look like Team Ambition Shogun are actually maybe looking to close here. That's a great scout of the week on Rapid Fire and on Riddy. Root's going to try to come forward. It calls forward, does not land, and Rapid Fire is going to be low. Rapid Fire is still going to survive. Rapid Fire does not go down, and Wind Trading is going to be able to take down Renfist. It's now Spear being able to take down one. Severe with another ice drag to get a double kill onto VESPA B team. Luke is the last one to survive, and Team Ambition Shogun will win the game through the bottom lane and will be 1 game away from ending the regular season.
With that group as 5, I feel vindicated on my point. Just walking straight up, that wasn't even a bad engage from Vespa B team, but there was just no way that they could ever deal with the power of TA Shogun. Just too far behind on the itemizations. Rapid Fire, having the namesake item, you gotta appreciate that, the Rapid Fire cannon. But I think that as a whole, Team Ambition Shogun played that game out very solidly. We can see it that they're going to be in a good position going into playoffs. Going to try to close out this series, but we have had a lot of series that have been a little bit more exciting than, and a little bit less one-sided maybe than what we saw out of this first game. So I'm expecting that Vespa B team gonna at least be able to fight back a little bit harder in game number 2. Hopefully gonna be able to keep this one close, maybe even get us to a game number 3.
We'll have to find out, and it looks like both teams are really trying to get into this one very soon. We do not want to wait. Everyone wants to get into Game 2 in just a moment, so we're going to take a quick break. We're going to get that set up, and when we return, it's going to be Game 2 between Vespa B Team and Team Ambition Shogun. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody, to the AML. Moose and Tiger here at the caster desk as we now move into game two of this best of three final week of the regular season. This matchup between Team Ambition Shogun, who won game one, are now going to be over on red side against the VESPA B team, who are looking to be able to win out in this game, in this series, and secure their spot in the qualifiers. Do or die situation for VESPA here. They need to win this game in order to secure it. Tiger, when you are in a do or die situation, what does, is there tension? When you play, do you feel tense in those moments? Or do you feel like it's a little bit easier for you to do that? Like it's easier for you to play. You feel more in the zone. Like, what's your mentality on that?
It's certainly no easier to play, but my experience as a player has always been that every game I bring my highest level of intensity. Of course, it's going to vary from person to person, from team to team, but I think that when you get pushed back into the corner, that's when you really get exposed for who you are. If you're a top tier player, you've got to be able to perform when it counts. So I'm looking to see if Vespa B team is going to show some of that character, some of that grit that they need to have in order to be one of these. Particularly a team that wants to go through the gauntlet, you definitely need to have that resolve. So I think they're in a perfect position to show, if they deserve to be there, then I would expect good things from them once they get there. But if they just end up flopping here, which I mean they're up against a tough opponent to be fair, but like they definitely need this win. So they're gonna have to show up in a big way here. Not changing a lot from game number one, but they are on the blue side now, so maybe gonna look to get a power pick on B1.
Yeah, let's see what they do decide to go for here. A lot of still priority pickups that are available. Sejuani was the R1 pickup for them in game one. It wasn't ineffective. Harambe just wasn't able to get the opportunity to pop off. And we're seeing the jungle kind of get targeted here. The Wukong is going to get taken away from Harambe. The J4 is VTB's choice, which I think is a little weird, as Shogun is going to ban out that Jinx. When you are blue side, you do get the opportunity to get that tier one pick, and Harambe does have some J4 games under their belt, and so banning that out on the blue side definitely feels like a little bit of a waste. But that does not mean that they are, they aren't out of a chance to pick up a good B1 pick. Zeri is still on the table. Caitlyn is still on the table. I've seen them play a lot of Jin as well, and especially that Vladimir. I completely forgot about that. Luke has played a lot of Vladimir and is extremely strong on the champion. It has been banned out in almost every single game that the Vespa B team has played. So, gonna have the opportunity to show it off here in game two.
Team Ambition Shogun, giving them a chance to play it at their highest level, dropping that for the Wukong ban, I believe. Or wait, no, the Wukong ban was there before. It's the Jinx ban that's new. Gonna be making sure not to allow that one over on the blue side. But the Belveth pick, all right, we've got some spicy stuff coming through. Team Ambition gonna be flexing in a big way, not only giving over the comfort of the Vladimir, but also picking what I consider to be a little bit of an ego champ in Belveth.
It definitely does, it definitely does feel like it. Now to be fair, Belveth has been banned out against Shogun on not every game, but like for example, I'm looking at it now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games out of the 13 that Shogun has played. It's been banned away. So, there is some scariness that is coming in with that, as the Aphelios is going to get locked in for rapid fire. Now, the Thresh not being available does deny the best support for Aphelios, but rapid fire has shown that they are an extremely strong marksman here in this game, and they've paired it with the Lulu here in the AML in the past, so that could potentially be an expectation, as we are getting some spice now. The Ivern is going to come through for VTB. Ivern, Vladimir, Zeri, what a composition to start this off.
I really like the Ivern as an answer to Belveth. I'm not familiar with the stats on the matchup, but I think that stylistically, Belveth just wants to full clear, and Ivern is very good at early ganks, has some pretty great setup. I I would really be interested if we saw something like a Rengar top to go with it, but like even just the Ivern by itself going to be supportive in a lot of ways. One of the best utility champions in the game. We see the presence of Thresh, which is, in my opinion, the very best utility champion in the game. But Ivern is very similar in style, where you're providing some CC for the team, some secondary, which can be even primary in some cases, engage. You've got some shielding going on, just a lot of different things that you do for the team with that pick, going to be providing in a lot of ways. I like it alongside the Zeri and Vladimir, looking for some scaling there. Now all they need to complete their comp is a top laner that's strong in the earlier stages of the game, but can also frontline. I like the Shen ban because of that.
Yeah, and I am now, very curious to see how well Shogun is going to be able to navigate this. And, is VTB, they're pulling out all the stops here in this game. And it's gonna be very fun to find out, how this is going to work here for Shogun and how much are they going to be able to show off. I want to take a look, the looking at the one game that Shogun has played on that Aphelios. We've seen it once, rapid fire, 8-4 and 12 in that game. We saw a Gale Force in that, along with that Bloodthirster Infinity Edge going 8-4 and 12, 210 CS in that game against a Lucian. So now you're going up against a Zeri, which can be difficult to be able to hit shots onto, especially, getting that Moonlight Vigil. You want to be able to land that, and it could be problematic to do that with Zeri kind of dashing and moving around the map. Gangplank kind of helping out with that though, because you do slow down in that field, and it's a pick that Severe has not decided to go for in the majority or in the entirety of the AML. So very excited to see what that means as the Warwick. What is this game? What is these compositions? Warwick going to be locked in here? I assume that's going into the top lane.
Yeah, surely must be a top lane pick. Honestly, I think that Gangplank here wants to follow the Vladimir wherever he goes, and Warwick wants to follow Gangplank wherever he goes. So I'm not sure how you would go with that matchup. Maybe you just look into this game, and this is good from Shogun. They recognize that they want to have the Gangplank into the Vladimir matchup, so they're picking an answer to the Warwick and the Cho'Gath. Now, I'm not sure how much flexibility there is from the players, if there's going to be, different lane possibilities. There's also like edge cases where you could just put Warwick jungle and then you put Vlad top, Seraphine mid, and Ivern support. But I don't think we're going there today, so going to be more likely to just see the solo lanes flipping around as all of the flexibility within this draft. But whatever the case, I think that it's going to be pretty spicy. Vespa B team definitely going to have to play towards the Warwick in the early stages of the game. Make sure to get some ganks off. That's why you pick up the Ivern. You have all that utility, but it kind of goes to waste if you're just trying to full clear on a champion whose whole point is that you don't full clear. So I'm looking for some ganks. And then be for the side of Team Ambition Shogun, they have to be aware of that. They have to be able to maybe look for some counter gank opportunities. I'm looking for Respirits Nautilus to pop off in a big way once again. Maybe get some roams out like we saw in game number 1 towards the mid lane. And then try to get on level terms towards the scaling. But I'm really excited to see what a team fight between these two teams could look like.
Yeah, and going back up to HP Gamer 7 on this Warwick, I'm very, very curious to see how he decides to play that. We've seen him play it once against a Gragas and the Burger Flippers earlier on in the regular season. He went 9-2 and 6 in that game, 145 CS, looking at around the 5 CS a minute or so mark on the Warwick is not really anything to cry home about. and goes for a flash barrier on that key on those summoner spells as well. So I mean, solid build from that point, going for the Divine Sunder, then the Blade of the Ruined King, and then a Titanic Hydra, which definitely makes sense. But paired up with that Ivern playing a more, support style build, going for that Moonstone Renewer, Staff of Flowing Water, my Kales, trying to be able to find those opportunities to be able to get those cooldowns low, to be able to get the shielding in, to be able to get the damage in, and to support the team. Zeri is going to, I think, really enjoy having an Ivern on the team to be able to buff them up. Warwick is going to love the fact that they've got an Ivern and a Seraphine to buff them up. And it's up to Vladimir to just kind of pop in at the end of the fight, drop a great, Hemoplague, and just be the AP threat, because there's so much AD damage that's going to be available here for Vespa B team. Shogun, on the other hand, the amount of side lane potential that they have, the opportunity that they have to complete these neutral objectives is, I think, really prevalent. And they still have some team by power of their own with that Shogath Feast. If you land a Rupture into a Feast onto either Zeri or Warwick, you are going to win that team fight. So I'm very excited to see what Shogun is going to be able to bring to the table here. We're going to get some really spicy plays coming in from both teams. And, this could potentially be the last streamed regular season game, Tiger. We have to get this dragon right. We have to get this dragon right.
True.
So I'm
True.
going to make you pick, and I'm going to double down on whatever dragon you think it's going to be.
All right, got a lot of faith in me. I appreciate that. Looking at the champions in this game, I'm thinking it's going to be a Chemtech. It's going to be a Chemtech Soul, I think. There's just so much shielding, so much champions that would love to be able to get those extra resources from the Chemtech Drake. How could it not happen, Moose?
How could it not happen? I totally agree. Couldn't agree more. Love to see low health bars, and Chemtech Soul is really good at doing that, or really good at complementing that, I should say. So let's find out how this game 2 is going to be played out. Will we get another game 3? Will we have 6 out of 7 weeks of play with a game 3? Or is Team Ambition Shogun just that good? And are they going to be able to take this win against the Vespa B team? Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right, everybody, welcome back. Game number 2 has begun between Team Ambition Shogun and VESPA B team. Shogun going to be over on the red side, 1 game away from making this a clean sweep. Now, Tiger, looking at the chat, I heard that there was some Mountain Soul predictions here in this game, and I'm gonna have to, make everyone sad in the chat. Let you know that it is not a Mountain Drake here, and we are going to be seeing that Drake first get popped up, Tiger. I guess I'm not the only one that can't predict the Dragon Soul correctly.
Well, I appreciate the fans in the chat also giving their predictions. I want to encourage them to continue with that, so no hard feelings on getting that one wrong, but hopefully next time I'm going to be able to get a little bit closer to it. Of course, sometimes when we get it wrong on the first one, we'll just do like a second chance pick, so you can still put your second chance Drake picks in the chat, of course. But with that in mind, I think that we better take a look at what's going on in the game. Nothing too surprising. Of course, we see the first strike on the gangplank here. So going to be looking to get advantages in that lane matchup, get a little bit of extra gold that way. And already starting off strong with pushing back Luke a little while. We saw Win Trading actually winning on a matchup that I thought that was not going to be favorable in the last game. So now with the matchup that I do think is going to be favorable, could be even harder winning for that mid lane.
Yeah, I wanna go back to that trade up there really quick between HP Gamer and Severe. Severe did lose a little bit of health, but in exchange, all 3 of those melee minions end up dying, and that losing out on that melee minion gold is definitely sad to see, but that is to be expected. HP Gamer in the game that we saw played, hold that thought though, as the Dredgeline is going to land on a Renfist, going to be at 100 HP, immediately forced to get out of base, out of lane, go back to base. That's a good start here for Shogun in the bottom lane.
Able to get the 2v2 at level 2. That's a power spike for Aphelios, of course, able to get his first ability in. And he starts the game with pretty good guns. HP Gaming now looking to get aggressive. Like you said, it's going to be that barrier and flash. That's what you always take on lane war with pretty much, because you want to be able to use that barrier to allow yourself to stay alive at the low health situation, get the most use possible out of your passive, and try to go for some clean solo bolos. We're seeing a gank set up on the top lane. Going to try to crash this wave on a double stack here, trying to finish off the kill on this review. not going to be able to make it happen this year.
Yeah, like you said, unfortunately, Severe is going to survive for Vespa B team, but we're already seeing the start of the momentum there from Vespa's jungler Harambe going around trying to see if there's any minion waves that are gone, anything like that. But now is looking to be able to go in on the prowl. Wind trading going to be able to avoid the root from Harambe, trying to be able to get away. Flash is still available and will not have to use it. Harambe, however, is going to have to flash. Riddy comes in. He avoids the knockup, but he will lose that summoner spell. Will not have that available for the next 5 or so minutes.
Yeah, gonna be getting a little bit too aggressive there, dropping under the tower, dropping a little bit low on the health bar. Riddy now going to be following Harambe towards this top lane. Severe trying to trade pretty deep.
Yeah, and HP Gamer is going to have to use that barrier, but Severe is going to be forced to flash away. Harambe recognizing that there was a chance for a kill and did not, unfortunately, get it. But HP Gamer gonna be able to get that health back as Harambe gonna be seeing that Riddy is in the area, will be forced to back away. Riddy now maybe in trouble. HP Gamer trying to be able to come in, but that's a nice rupture from Severe. Keep HP Gamer and Harambe off the track. Riddy, however, gonna be in trouble. First Blood's gonna be on Rapid Fire in the bottom lane. Severe and Riddy are gonna be able to survive in the top lane after flashes were used. And that's going to be a very exciting start to this game. Neither team, I think, really getting what they're looking for on the top side of the rift, but the game is still continuing to go in favor of Team Ambition Shogun.
Yeah, they're able to get that first blood in the bot lane, but Riddy being forced to sit under this tower for a long time is pretty bad here for Shogun. They want to be able to allow full clear to go through. Harambe getting exactly what I was hoping to see out of this early game. The wave also could be pushing back towards Vespa B team, so if they manipulate this correctly.
Oh, Riddy's going to try to go through and get speared. HP Gamer will take that kill and will get the health back. HP Gamer picking up a big kill against Severe. That is what they were waiting for. It took a while, but they got the return on their investment in the top lane.
It did take a while, but it was all the while keeping two members of TA Shogun from getting any resources whatsoever. There was maybe a little bit of the wave experience that went over to Severe, but at the end of the day, when you've sat your Velvet under the top lane tower for like a whole minute and not gotten any farm on either of the characters, then that's going to be a much worse situation every time. HP Gamer gotta play a little safe here because you can't sit at low health against a Cho'Gath that's level 6 anymore. Gotta play a little bit more respectfully here, gonna be minimized in the power of this barrier going forward, but already got all that you need out of it, so really worthwhile investment anyways to go for that summoner spell.
Now, the exchange of that is that there is no teleport on the Vespa B team squad. Ghost Flash on Luke RTG with the phase rush, trying to be able to move around, be that one speedy boy. It does mean that Severe and Wind Trading gonna be able to use their teleports a little bit more liberally here, and have the chance to be able to go in for a really good 1-3-1 split pushing play as we move into the mid game. And it's going to be very interesting to see now how the side of Vespa will navigate having no teleports here. Doesn't mean that they're going to lose out in the mid game or any of that split pushing power at all. It just makes it more difficult for you to be able to find that.
Interesting the way that things have played out, because we saw the counter picks going over in mid and top lane for Shogun, but at the end of the day, it's been the mid and top lane that Vespa B team have been winning out on. They got the comfort picks, they got the Warwick special coming through, and then in the bottom lane, where it was Vespa that had the counter pick, they're actually way far behind right now, and that's the strongest point on the map for TA Shogun. So interesting how the draft worked into that direction, but whatever the case, that's keeping this game pretty close early on. I expect there to be a fight around the Rift Herald. Of course, Belveth loves to get that objective, get the upgrade on the ultimate, get into that form, and then start working on the towers. We'll see if there's going to be a fight around it or if there's just going to be a push towards it, as the roam has already come through from Respirit.
Yeah, there is an investment on both sides here at the Rift Herald, and that means that the decision, or the determination of who's going to get this Rift Herald is going to be pretty big for both of these teams, as Luke is going to get rooted, Respirit is going to try to be able to get away, as that Nautilus is going to come in, Severe is there, and that is going to be Daisy popped. Riddy going to be inside the Dragon Pit, is going to get knocked up, is going to get hit by the Infinite Duress, and that is going to be Riddy dying. HP Gamer will take that kill, and nobody on Shogun is going to have the chance to be able to stop that Rift Herald, as Autumn is going to find the root. That's going to be Severe getting rooted again. Severe is in trouble. Severe will go down. Luke will ghost and flash to safety, and Daisy will continue to be aggressive here. Yes, that's 50 gold for win trading, but man, did TA Shogun give over a big neutral objective to VESPA.
Ended up down 1,000, and they could be down more. Autumn looking for a play.
Yeah, Respirit is going to get rooted, forced to flash away. Will be able to get out of that one, though, and now potentially Riddy trying to be able to find a response here. Going to be seen by that ward, though. So now what is the play? It is going to be an immediate play towards Dragon, smiting it immediately, rapid fire going up. Doesn't really have the best guns to be able to clear it out very quickly, but it does look like Team Ambition Shogun will be able to get that for free, and it's just going to be that consolation prize for a really good team fight for VESPA there at the Dragon Pit, or at the Baron Pit.
Well done there. Oh, Autumn could be in trouble.
Autumn is going to be low. Wind trading trying to go in. Exhaust was used, and Luke is going to be at around half HP. Wind still what that teleport is going to be, or Flash is going to be able to get away. Riddy is going to try to steal some Raptors, though, and Autumn is going to escape using both summoner spells to do it. Wind trading, kind of playing with fire here. Will be able to walk out themselves, so that is going to be that.
We've seen throughout the early game that there's been some characteristic of what we saw in game one from both of these teams. The early game being played out pretty decently by VESPA B team. Shogun doing a good job of getting some objectives in their favor, but also at times giving up some big fights in favor of VESPA B team. So they're going to have to work on that going into the playoffs. Try to get in a little better position around that, and the dive not going to be an option here. Only a little bit of damage back and forth. That could have exploded really quickly, but now that means that the top side is going to have an opportunity for HP win. A lot of power can expand the gold lead to around 1.5 hit.
Yep, Shelly's going to drop, and that is going to be 3 turret plates down for HP Gamer, who has played the early game as well as you can expect to Warwick to go, utilizing that barrier to great effect, getting that Blade of the Ruined King, and now will be a massive threat there in that side lane against Severe. Now, Severe does have the Bramble Vest, does now have that little bit of punishment, which is expected as that first item, along with that Kindle Gem, to be able to try to pick up an early, to be able to get that early mythic item. However, Team Ambition Shogun is still not out of this yet as we look towards the bottom lane. 2 turret plates for rapid fire. I think he gets them both without having to share that gold with Respirit. Level 8, and with that Kraken Slayer unlocked Tiger. You're looking at a mid or a marksman that come mid game, come late game is going to be absolutely massive here, as long as they're able to continue to level up like that.
Yeah, once we get to the late game, things could get really interesting. But
As
they
we do
are
get
already...
Daisy going to be dropped. That's going to be a nice encore from Autumn. Wind is going to have no mana. As the Cannon Barrage is going to drop, Autumn is going to be down to 1 HP, and Daisy will be popped. Daisy will be walking away, going to try to take some turret shots here, but no one will go down. No summoner spells used on either team. But Rapid Fire, once again, getting another turret plate without any contest from Renfist, will continue to add to that gold lead there in the bottom lane.
Yeah, this Aphelios pick has definitely worked out. I think that it could have been answered by something stronger in the laning phase than the Zeri, but definitely going to be making the most of having that advantage state now. I think that Rapid Fire definitely going to be the mid-game carry here for Shogun. Usually Aphelios you'd rather see being the late game carry, but this time around there's some other late game carries in the Belveth and the Gangplank, so trying to patch through the mid game to make sure that there's going to be an opportunity for everyone to come online. And we'll see if that comes through, because right now VESPA trying to push the pace further. Fortunately for TA, they were able to take the first Drake of the game. That'll give them a little bit more opportunity before any soul could come in, especially if it is, as we had predicted, the Chemtech soul.
We'll have to find out. Dragon spawning in about a minute 15, and Shogun picking up that first Mountain Drake in the, after the Rift Herald fights that Vespa had won. Looking at some of the items here, Night Harvester completed for Luke RTG, looking to be able to burst down, looking to be able to get that damage, and looking to be able to reposition after dropping that Hemoplague with the extra movement speed that Harvester provides. Harambe also going for a movement speed movement speed mythic, and go with that Shirelia's. Not going to go for that Moonstone Renewer, which I'm a little surprised that he decided not to go for that one, but making the decision to go for the Shirelia's, that active movement speed that you're able to get can be the difference between chasing down a kill or not, and we'll have to see how effective it is as we move into the team fight stage of the game.
I'm usually not a big proponent of Shirelia's, but I do think it's pretty good here because you're going to want to be able to space effectively on your Zeri.
Wind trading is going to get rooted, is going to get in trouble, and Luke is actually going to try to get that kill and will be able to. Ghost having to be used, however. Trying to give Luke that kill is maybe a little bit of a risky play there, and that's going to mean that Rapid Fire will get that first tower down, first tower gold, first tower advantage going over to Team Ambition Shogun. The dragon will be taken by the side of Vespa, and it's a Hextech Drake. That's not what we wanted. Close, but no Cigar Tiger. How could we be this bad at choosing a Dragon's Gold? We're going to have to hold that thought, though, as 4 or 5 members of Vespa B team are looking to be able to pick up that Rift Herald, and they will force Riddy and Severe off of it. Nicely done from Vespa to send the entirety of their squad over. The Encore is going to land on a Severe, and that's going to be the CC coming in. There's a Shirelia's coming through. And now Rapid Fire, Riddy, and Wind Trading are going to try to do what they can. Shelly is going to reset here. Her Spirit is going to come through as well with the Hex Gates. Rapid Fire going to come in, and they want this play. Moonfall is available. Can Rapid Fire find it? Going to try to go for it. Going to get some damage, but not enough. It's an ace for Vespa B team.
Well, we may not have gotten the Drake Soul this game, but it looks like we may get one more shot at it here before the regular season is over. With the ace going through for Vespa B team, they're going to be able to pick this one up. Hopefully someone will stand on top of that eye. They've got a lot of standing gold to take down. They do need to win a few more fights. Despite the kills being 10-1, it's only about 3,000 gold lead, so it's by no means out of the reach of TA Shogun. They can definitely make some plays to get themselves back in the game. But Vespa B team in a very strong spot at this point, and their big carries are starting to get their items. It's going to be difficult to deal with HP Gamer in the side lane with Divine Sunderer and a Blade of the Ruin King once that one comes through. And then once you get 3 or 4 items into the game, then you get the late game power of the Zeri and Vladimir.
I just realized that HP Gamer has the elusive and fun and wonderful Earthquake skin as he goes in for that Infinite Duress, is just trying to be the evil man that Warwick is. And Severe is very much in trouble here. And Severe is very in trouble. He'll walk away, but HP Gamer, my God. 3-0-5 on this. Warwick is having a phenomenal game here for Vespa B team.
To be able to keep pushing. This time around, it's Renfist that was picking up the Rift Herald. The first Herald actually was picked up by HP Gamer, trying to get as much value onto the early game Warwick as possible. But now starting to shift the focus into getting the big hyper carries online. Still plenty of opportunity to take those side lane towers though. And that's exactly what we see from HP Gamer. Going to be looking to take more of those even, extend the CS advantage, extend the gold lead, and we'll see if that actually happens, as the gold lead has shrunk back down to 2,000 gold as it was 3,000 before.
Yep, and that is kind of the power of having wind trading on this gangplank. You are able to get some gold back because of just the passive nature of GP in general. If you're able to go into the side lanes, if the barrel pops an entire minion wave that's an extra 6 gold or 8 gold or whatever, a minion wave that's very strong, that's, allowing you to get some extra money. But on the other hand, we're looking at a good CS advantage for Luke RTG now, 2-0 and 4. You're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4 gold bounties on VESPA B team right now. So, you are in a very precarious situation where the gold hasn't really ballooned in your favor yet. But if you lose a team fight and Rapid Fire is able to get, a double kill or a triple kill and get those shutdowns in, it's going to result in you, giving a massive amount of gold over to your lane opponent, to your, your opponent in general, which could swing the lead back into their favor. And I think the VESPA B team, recognizing that, is playing a little bit more of a passive game, just trying to scale up here and get their team to a point where they can win these fights a lot more effectively. Hold that thought, though. Riddy is going to be the one that's going to go up against Luke RTG. Cannon Barrage is going to drop. That's going to be all of the damage coming through. And Luke RTG is going to have to Ghost and Flash out of that. 35 seconds remaining until Baron spawning, and Dragon is going to be up as well.
Punishing to lose those summoner spells, but at least surviving here is pretty big. Not going to give over the shutdown. We'll be able to reset and get back out in time. The Hex Gate's going to be feeling pretty good. I wanted to see the Chemtech Soul just because I thought it would be so good on either of these teams. But I always enjoy seeing what plays that the teams can make with the Hextech Rift. So that's one of my favorite rifts to see pop up. Of course, the Soul is nothing to sneeze at either. Going to be able to be procced by a lot of the characters on the map pretty easily. But the Rift Herald just going to be used as bait to make sure that you're securing the Drake. And I think that's the right idea here from VESPA. They've gotten to the point where they're no longer heavily favored in the team fights. But they will have to come find an answer here as TA Shogun going to start up the Baron.
Win trading is going to get rooted, going to get stunned, going to get suppressed, and that's win trading going down. HP Gamer is on a rampage, and now it's a race towards Baron. Can Shogun get it? Shogun gets the Baron. It's 1 kill and a dragon for Baron Nashor on 4 members of your squad. Can Rapid Fire get out? Yes, they can. It's now Severe and Riddy trying to be able to get out of this play as the barrage of champions from VESPA B team try to get those Baron up champions off the board, and they'll get another. HP Gamer is unstoppable, and that is 2 kills for VESPA B team in exchange for Baron.
Pretty even trade, honestly. Shogun's going to have to play really well with the Baron to be able to actually get back closer in the gold. Right now, trailing still by about 1,000. Should be able to pick up the mid-tier 1, I'd imagine. But they also lost the Drake on that play, so it was pretty close back and forth trade of objectives. A couple more kills going the way of VESPA B team. We'll see if they can expand on that, taking up more space here before any more push comes through on the Baroned up minions. But I think that this is a critical point in the game to decide who's going to be controlling it going into the next few Drakes.
Daisy has been spawned as VESPA B team is going to watch their jungle get taken away. Great blast code. All 3 members of TA Shogun able to get out of that one, and now Rapid Fire might be the target here. Flash is going to get used. A Rupture is going to land on Harambe to deny. Rapid Fire getting collapsed upon. That was a scary play, a scary heist from TA Shogun, but they're going to be able to capitalize on it, and they get back to the mid lane. Do they keep this tower alive? The answer is no, Tiger. Daisy will go down. And now with a minute 15 remaining until Baron is gone, what else can Shogun do with it?
I can't imagine they can do much because they don't have it on their split pushers. I think that the most critical part of the play around Baron was that the kills that went in favor of VESPA B team were on win trading and Severe. That means that there's no opportunity here for them to get out into a 1-3-1. No opportunity to push through that. Looks like they want to get into like a 4-1, but I don't think that they'll be able to get a lot more pressure.
All right, Cannon Barrage is going to come through, and a missed flash on Autumn. That's a great encore, but a shutdown in onto Autumn. That's going to be Riddy picking up their first kill of the game. Meanwhile, Infinite Stress is going to drop in onto this Warwick. What are you doing, HP Gamer? No! HP Gamer is going to go down. The Warwick has died. Earth has been avenged. And 3 members of VESPA B team are now trying to defend this mid lane. That early game is now over, and Team Ambition Shogun has taken back the lead in this game.
Oh, they fell victim to the classic blunder, the go in one at a time strategy. What's victimized so many of the solo queue teams has now been a problem here in the mid game for VESPA B team. Ends up losing the fight. Not like they gave over a ton of kills there, but the shutdowns quite impactful, particularly the one off of HP Gamer. Now it's going to be Shogun with the 1k gold lead. Still going to be pretty close going into the mid to late stages of this game. I think that both sides scale up pretty effectively. It's not clear that one side is going to have advantage in the later game team fights. It's going to be a lot about the vision, a lot about who can get the drop on the enemy team.
And speaking of a drop, it's HP Gamer bullied now as he's going to go for that infinite duress. That is so much healing, but not enough to stop it. That's going to be a killing spree for Riddy. 2 of those kills coming off the back of HP Gamer, who now has a 300 gold bounty, a Wits End, a Kraken Slayer, and Mercury Treads to boot. This Belvath has now come online, and the fighting maybe not be over yet, as the jungle is in trouble. Win Trading, however, is going to be in the top lane, trying to be able to get minion waves, trying to be able to get some kills. Rapid Fire is dead! That's going to be a big kill for Renfis as he now goes down. For Spirit is next. Double kill for Renfis, and now can Riddy and Severe get out of it? Dragon is spawning in 14 seconds. Riddy is trying to be able to escape and will. Severe trying to be able to get out of this one. Renfis is going to go in. The Rupture is going to land. Severe is going to get out of that. But 2 kills for the side of VESPA. Win Trading now trying to go up against HP Gamer, will die to HP Gamer, not before taking 2 towers in the top lane.
But it will be another even trade on the gold, and that means that with the soul point coming through for VESPA B team, they're now in a very strong position to get a lot more off of this map. Going to be looking for the tier 1 bot tower takedown as well. Going to be just about even on the gold, and now this is what we've come to expect. This is the AML that we've seen for the past 6 weeks. This game has me on the edge of my seat. Either side going to be able to put some plays out. Going to be up for grabs through what I imagine to be the rest of this game. I think that both sides are in a spot where if they get one decisive team fight, they're going to be able to do a lot of damage, if not just outright end the game. But I think that with the Baron coming up shortly, could be a fight for that. If not that, then the Soul, and if not that, then the Elder. I think that one of those 3 fights is going to be determining who wins this game.
Baron is now spawned, and Severe is not going to be able to attend this fight. A teleport is going to be available soon, but not very soon. Rapid Fire coming in with that Moonlight Vigil could potentially find a play. And now Win Trading also on the side as well. Who's going to be able to get this Baron with 6,000 HP remaining on it? Win Trading is going to try to drop the barrels, but they will be taken out immediately. Daisy is now dead. 5,000 HP remaining as the root is going to land on the Spirit. Severe walking all the way up as the Spirit's going to try to come through. That's the Rupture landing on HP Gamer and Harambe. Baron is going to be down to 3,000 HP, and that is where Riddy's going to come in. One to execute the Baron. Who gets the Baron? It's Ivern! Ivern gets the Baron, but it's 2 kills potentially for the side of Shogun. No! Luke is going to be able to take down Rapid Fire. Riddy is now at 1 HP, and HP Gamer is going to try to get that life steal. HP Gamer is still alive. HP Gamer takes down Respit, and Severe falls as well. Aaron goes to VESPA B team, and 3 members of Shogun die.
They're able to hold the line, and VESPA B team now with the advantage going to be able to push down towards the mid lane. They've got a 4v2 on the map, going to be able to take at least the tier 2, probably the inhib tower as well. Luke is pretty low, but there's a lot of healing to go around. Should be able to stick around a little while longer. They've got a second wave. Will they push forward further? No, it looks like they want to back off, take the enemy jungle away, and then get out into what I expect to be a 1-4, maybe a 1-3-1. Maybe you can put both of your split pushers out there, but you definitely want to get HP Gamer in a side lane, taking as many towers as possible with this Baron buff.
And the gold lead has shifted once again. VESPA B team now with a 2,000 gold advantage. The gold lead at this point is irrelevant. It is all going to boil down to who wins out in these team fights. And HP Gamer coming in clutch in that last fight, finding the infinite duress. Luke RTG is absolutely monstrous on this Vladimir. Level 16. Rabadon's Death Cap, Night Harvester, 512 AP is going to be able to just burst down rapid fire and win trading so dang fast. Riddy is going to try to get away from HP Gamer and will, but HP Gamer is also a threat with that Blade of the Rune King, with that Divine Sunderer, going towards that Titanic Hydra. You are looking at a VESPA B team that is wanting to continue to play in the AML, and they are on the way to a Game 3.
Looking to try to push all the way in. For Shogun, what they need to do is focus all of their efforts on protecting the Aphelios. That is their win condition, and they need it right now.
And can they find it? The Hemo Plague is going to drop on a Rapid Fire. Rapid Fire, 1 HP. And Luke RTG is going to be on a rampage. HP Gamer is going to die. That's 4 kills. 4 kills for VESPA B team. And Team Ambition Shogun are going to take the inhibitor in the bottom lane. Renfis is going to take the kill, will die in exchange, but who cares? That's going to be VESPA B team taking us to another Game 3 in the AML.
A really scrappy game there from VESPA B team. They needed every fight that they got. They were able to win out in the combat so often. They weren't able to ever explode the gold lead, but they were able to do what they needed to do, get the victory. Now we've seen their formula for success. Of course, it starts when you pick up that B1 Vladimir for Luke, 4-0-12 on the champ. Going to be something that I imagine just gets immediately banned out going into next game. But also, I think that just playing aggressively in the early game just worked out perfectly for their style. They were able to put some scaling picks in a few of the lanes, while also not lose their early ferocity. So VESPA B team doing fantastically in response to a game 1 where they had a little bit of a tough time in the mid to late game. Just responded to that by taking those out of the picture, go for the early game, and find all of the winning fights that you need. Now Shogun are going to have the tables reversed on them. They need to come back after that and find a new winning strategy for themselves.
Yeah, I mean, what a phenomenal game, and I love to see it once again. We're going to be looking to see what Game 3 is going to have in store for us here very soon. We're going to take that quick break, and when we return, we'll jump into that draft. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody, to the Aegis Marauders League. And as expected, as standard as it's been all season long, we are going to get a Game 3 situation here. My name is Moose, and I'm joined today by Tiger. And, I mean, I don't know if this was to be expected. I don't know if this was, TA Shogun kind of goofing off a little bit, or maybe this is VESPA B team finally showing us, why they are still a candidate to win this tournament. But we're seeing just some incredible moments happen on screen once again.
Yeah, I think you can really tell where these two teams are at based off of how well they're gathering resources. And what I mean by that is that throughout the game, you naturally accrue resources. You get your CS, you get your experience, gold, and those things are just going to always be pretty consistent just based off of what level of player that you are. Once you get to the really high levels, it'll be less consistent because it'll be more champion based. But clearly, at least at this level, that holds true. And we've seen Team Ambition Shogun doing a better job of gathering the resources, even in Game 2. Even when they were behind, they were keeping up on the farm. They were making sure that they were getting all of their natural resources coming in as they normally would. And that mitigated some of the gold lead that we saw Vespa Team B get. But I think that with the way that we're seeing Vespa B team fighting, they still have a shot in this. We saw how that they're going to win. They're not going to be allowed to have the same draft. Vladimir is definitely getting banned, but they're going to have some access to some similar champions, surely. And I think that with that in mind, they're going to hopefully be able to put themselves in a winning position by now being on the red side, having that counter pick towards those solo lanes, and then utilizing that to try to get the biggest advantages of the series, hopefully in the early game, if they want to have a chance to actually come up with the upset.
Yep. And, we get to go into a Game 3 situation now where we've gotten to see Luke play so well on that Vladimir. We do not expect that we're going to be able to see that here in Game 3. It should be an immediate ban for Team Ambition Shogun unless, they're feeling really confident. They have secured their spot in the playoffs already. It's VTB that I do believe with the win there against Team Ambition Shogun did confirm their spot. But regardless of that, it is going to be up to Team Ambition Shogun now to finish the job. And no more games, no more playing around. That Vladimir is going to be taken away immediately. Luke is going to have to play a different champion.
I also imagine that we'll see a little bit more conventional of an early set of picks coming through. I think that the really early Belveth, not something that I normally expect to see. And I think that maybe you want to wait a little bit longer in the draft so that you can see if you're going to get some good matchups with it. But I also think that for Team Ambition Shogun being back on the blue side, they will have a little bit more flexibility with their bans. They've been taking out the Wukong, the Jinx, but they also showed that they'll play the Jinx. Looks like they're going to take the Jinx out once again, so maybe they will end up first picking the Wukong this time around.
Yeah, and VTB kind of, with that J4 ban is pushed into a little bit of a corner here. Do you allow the Xayah to come out for Shogun? Do you allow for that Wukong to come up? And I think Wukong has just had such a presence the last couple of seasons and just continues to be a mainstay here. The fact that you're able to get multiple knockups is pretty big. but it can have its moments where it can get countered. And Wukong still is going to be the B1 pick. I completely agree with it. Yes, it can still get countered out, but it is such a strong pick. The ability to be able to get multiple multi-man knockups in a single team fight can make or break the game. It does not matter if you are ahead or behind. You're going to be able to, more often than not, guarantee that knockup with a Nimbus Strike Cyclone. And that could be the difference between winning and losing a team fight. The Zeri, on the other hand, Renfis played a really solid Zeri game with that Seraphine last game, is now going to have that again. Ivern is still on the table as well for Vespa B team if they want to pick that up. So a lot of options that are on the table here, but you're looking for something that's going to be able to pair nicely in the bottom lane with that Zeri. Probably going to be an enchanter like the Lulu. Maybe that Seraphine again. We'll have to find out what they decide to go for.
I also think that an Elise lock-in would be pretty good here. I think that with the way that we've seen Vespa B team playing, they want to go for some early aggression, and having a dive champ definitely helps. Ivern is like a lesser version of Elise when it comes to that. You still got the potential to pick that they've got similarities in their ability to set up ganks for themselves, but Ivern not going to be able to dive quite as effectively, so will be a little bit less aggressive in that sense. Definitely scales up pretty effectively though, so not the worst champion to lock in, especially alongside the Zeri. But that doesn't mean the Lulu is going to go over alongside the Sivir, so we're getting more scaling coming through in the bot lane.
Now, we're looking at a composition here with, I always see a lot of knockups, and I always, I don't want to say that the Yasuo is an option, but it is still an option here. Wukong and Lulu with the opportunity to get a multi-man knockups is definitely on the table. You play something like a Mordekaiser or an Ornn in the top lane, and then Yasuo is able to go in with an art with like a B4, B5 pick. It would be spicy. It would be weird, but it is still on the table. It is still something to consider as we move into the later stages of the draft. Vespa B team picking that Seraphine R3. It is, I mean, there were some good encores that I think Vespa B team were able to find, but I'm not sure that Vespa got the best value out of it. It still worked well with the Zeri. It does mean, however, that it can get countered out, and I'm curious to see what Vespa is going to be able to go with here, and what the bans are going to be. Yone is going to get taken away along with that Shen. Now, HP Gamer could go for that Warwick again, and we could see pretty much a rerun of Vespa's game 2 matchup. And I'm curious to see if that is going to be the case here, or if it does get banned out.
You didn't like the Seraphine game number 2? I thought it was really effective, particularly in the early game. I thought Autumn did a really good job of landing the double beat drops, getting those roots onto multiple members of the enemy team. I remember there was a disengage that happened at level 2 where they were almost having a kill go over to the bot lane of Shogun, where a double root landed onto both members of the Shogun bot lane. And I know that I saw a lot more double roots landing throughout the game, so I think that Autumn definitely showed some good skill on Seraphine in game number 2, and I definitely don't have any problems with it coming back for game number 3.
No, it's just because I hate Seraphine fundamentally as a champion.
Fair enough. I
Yeah.
also hate Seraphine fundamentally. I hope that they don't whitewash her with the Brackern rework on the Skarner.
Well, I mean, yes, okay, yeah, Autumn played well, and I'll concede that it wasn't as ineffective as it was. It just wasn't as flashy, like when you have a Warwick on the team, when you have like a Vladimir that's popping off, it's really easy for me to like get focused in on those fun new champions, and see them come through, and not potentially look at what Autumn was doing there as a support role. I do know support lives matter. I was the support player at one point. I'm now in the jungle, but it's it's still Seraphine, so we'll just leave it at that. Going back into the draft, though, Victor and Gwen are going to be pickups here. Cassiopeia is going to be going up against the Victor in the mid lane. Gwen, which was banned away in game 1, Tiger, is now going to be available here for Severe. No Warwick, though. It did get banned away. no Shen. Ornn is still on the table to be that frontline menace. Let's see what they do decide to go for.
I wouldn't like an Ornn into Gwen. I think that you want to go with something that can duel a little bit better, and I like the
Sure.
Urgot for that. I'm not 100% sold on it because I think that Gwen can still get some pretty good value out of the Hallowed Mist with that matchup. But it's kind of down to player skill between the two. I think that for HP Gamer, there's definitely going to be a lot more angles on the Urgot than you could get with some of the more scaling focused champions. You try to lock in a Scion or a Cho'Gath here, it's just not going to fly. So I'm glad that they didn't try to force something like that. And now they've got a pretty balanced team comp once again. I think that Vespa B team's done a good job of running back what was effective in last game. But I think that there's also a little bit of a different look here from Team Ambition Shogun. I think they're going to be looking to get some advantage in the mid lane with the Victor into Cassiopeia and try to get some good trades that way. And hopefully they'll be able to get a lot of push, set up some ganks at level 6 for Riddy, and then put themselves in position to team fight. Because once again, we've got what would be a really exciting 5v5 team fight, but we just haven't gotten to see a lot of 5v5 team fights throughout the first 2 games because there's been so many picks.
Oh yeah, a lot of picks, a lot of potential to be able to go in for those plays, but also we've seen both teams find the response after a pick happened. I remember like in game 2, HP Gamer going down in the bottom lane, the rest of Vespa B team was able to get down to the bottom lane Wind was getting turrets in the top lane. They still were able to get multiple kills after HP Gamer went down. I think it was like a 3-for-1 at the end of that exchange. They were then able to get the dragon, and that wasn't a traditional 5v5. Really the only traditional 5v5 that I think that we had was at the Baron pit there in game 2. Shogun at the Rift Herald tried to go in for that Hexgate play near the backline, trying to be able to find that play, didn't get it. And then at Baron, Riddy trying to go in, trying to be able to get the smite, not able to find it. Harambe coming in with that clutch smite and taking it. Those are like the amount of team fights that we've had has been very minimal here. And for Shogun, this is going to be a fight, and this is going to be a composition that is going to excel in trying to find those team fights. The Wild Growth, the Cyclone, the On the Hunt, the Chaos Storm, all these things can be able to be a lot of AoE, can be very effective against multiple members of VTB. So on the other hand of that, the Seraphine and the Cassiopeia able to do the same thing with the Encore and the Petrifying Gaze. So a lot of expectations that we're going to be seeing some very explosive fights like we did see in games 1 and 2. It's going to be another exciting finish and a great end to the regular season here of the AML. What do you think is going to be the Dragon Rift and Soul for game 3?
Uh, I don't think that we've seen any ocean drakes today, so I'll go back to that one. I think that we'll at least see an ocean drake appear, and if we know that an ocean drake is going to appear, it might as well be the soul, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think that that's fair to say. I'm gonna go with the Cloud Drake here in Game 3. I think it's a safe choice, and I'm very excited and curious to see what the Dragon Rift is going to be, or the Rift and the Soul is going to be here for this final game of the regular season. Now, before we take it to that break, this is now the opportunity and the time for me to talk about the other projects and the other content that Aegis Esports is bringing to the table. We are not the only league that is casted every week. We are at the AML every Tuesday at 5 p.m., but every Monday at 5 p.m., check out the Aegis Protectors League. And on Fridays, the Aegis Guardians League and the Aegis Challengers Champions League. That is the premier uncapped league that is extremely competitive and has a really significant prize pool. So a lot of League of Legends content that you guys can enjoy. And on top of that, they've also got communities for TFT, for Valorant, for Legends of Runeterra, for these other amazing Riot affiliated games. So Definitely a lot of fun. Definitely a lot of things to do here at Aegis Esports. Drop them a follow on the Twitch channel. Subscribe if you really like it. Follow the Twitter and join the Discord to stay up to date on all of the content. I know that I would appreciate it as much as Aegis Esports would as well. We're going to take that quick break now, and when we return, we're going to get into this Game 3 situation. Can Shogun finish out the series and this regular season with another win? Or will Vespa Team B, will they be the ones to take another win off of Shogun and give themselves a guaranteed spot in the qualifiers? Either way, it's going to be a fun one. Don't go anywhere.
I'm so scared of getting used to this. All the vines that keep you tethered in your room. Well, someday both of us are leaving here, but for now I'll just bring this seed to you. Will you meet me in the daylight like we did before? Then I felt you on my shoulder, and you weren't suffering anymore. You said, I'm sorry that you worry, don't apologize. I told you to forget me, but you stayed by my side when I said, don't try to make yourself remember. Darling, don't look for me, I'm just a story you've been told. So let's pretend a little longer. And when we're gone, everything goes on.
Like a bomb squad. I'm addicted to your
Welcome back, everybody, to the AML. Final game of the regular season has begun, Tiger. And I couldn't be more excited. I've got my favorite champion, Wukong, played by Riddy, piloted by Riddy, trying to be able to secure some early jungle ganks and wins here for his squad. Tiger, what is there like a moment from the regular season that like you remember the most that you very much enjoyed and was like your highlight?
I'm trying to go back through. I remember that one time there was it a couple weeks ago that we saw like a base that was almost taken and then an inhib respawned and then the other team won the game. I know that in like week 2 or 3 also we had like an amazing base defense from a team that was like 5,000 gold behind. I can't remember all of the details. It's a bit foggy up there. I've done a lot of casting, but I definitely have had some big moments throughout this split that have stuck out to me, and at least I can remember a little bit about them.
For sure, that's understandable. And for me, I love the team fights have always been my favorite thing because, obviously as a play-by-play, that's when I kind of get to pop off a little bit. It's the opportunity for me to like show what I can do. And seeing a really intricate team fight where you can tell that there's a very fast chess match playing between both teams, like at Baron or at Dragon, and one team is able to come in and get the steal. Like that's such a big moment, and I love doing that. So we're definitely gonna get some more here in this regular season game as we get ourselves started with the first couple of minion waves coming through. Harambe coming in, this one going for a summon Airy build, is just trying to be able to continue to be, that pest in the jungle going up against the Wukong. I'm curious to see how Harambe is going to be able to navigate this one, now knowing that Shogun knows what is up. They know what to expect now coming into this game.
Yeah, I see a lot of summon area in this game, actually. Was there some sort of feature where everyone had to lock in summon area? It's going to be certainly a boon to the laning phase of wind trading. Going to be able to get even more damage out in the early stages in some exchanges. So trying to make sure that that early lane is going to be the best that it can be. Both supports taking summon area as well. Going to try to get some extra shielding with that. And we'll see if a gank can come through in the top lane. Something familiar to what we saw in game number 2.
Yep, Severe, though, playing as that Gwen is going to be seen. Does have the mist. Let's see how it's played out. Harambe going to just try to collapse upon it. Gonna get rooted. Gonna be able to get under tower, though, so we'll be fine. But that was very, very close there, Tiger. And Harambe coming in again, just trying to be that pest in the top lane. Severe, no flash this time. That's Ghost Teleport Gwen. Gonna be tough, I think, in some of these ganks to get out of them if Harambe continues to play like that.
Well, didn't have to drop either of them there, so that's off to a good start at the very least. HP Gamer not able to get in range.
Ooh! Okay, that's
We'll
flash
see.
for Flash. Got the Sad B coming up.
Yeah, gonna be a little bit of a push in favor of Luke RTG as well, so gonna be a situation where Luke can probably get a little bit of extra farm this way, and also maybe threaten onto wind trading. Gonna have to play it a little bit safe here. Not very much mana left available, and the wave's still pushing. Well, it's starting to push back now the way of VESPA B team. They're gonna be trying to get that one under tower here real quick. Harambe gonna come back for another gank, and utilizing this Ivern to a high degree of effectiveness is something that I'm really happy to see. I wish more teams would pick Ivern at least from time to time. Maybe you don't have to pick it every game, but definitely a champion to keep on your radar.
You a classic Ivern enjoyer, I assume. What's your favorite Ivern skin?
My favorite Ivern skin has to be the basketball one.
I love it.
Comes around dunking on people. Daisy comes up. You gotta love that. I think that they need to expand the Dunk Masters skin line. I always thought that there should be like an Ezreal one where he's like a 3-point shooter, and you want to get like Orianna that's passing the ball. There's just so much great stuff that they could do with it, and I feel like that needs to be explored further.
That makes sense. Orianna plays hoops. You got Ezreal that could play hoops. So you got your ADC, you got your mid laner, you got your top lane, and now you got your jungle. What's your support basketball player? You're missing like a shooting guard.
Shooting guard? Okay, that'd probably be like a Ziggs or a Xerath, I guess. Maybe Vel'Koz.
Oh, I didn't think about that. Ziggs could be a good one too. I could do that. I could see that. I like that. I like it.
Anyone with a spear.
Gotcha. Yeah. I love it.
Maybe this is a new Melio angle.
No, we won't talk about that champion there. It's not available yet. Coming to a rift near you, but not yet. We'll enjoy the rift before that happens.
Tomorrow.
Wait until tomorrow, yes, but not yet. Well, we're hopefully not going to be seeing it for a little while. I think Aegis has a 3-week delay on 3-week delay on Champions coming out, but regardless, we'll see it when it comes out. I think it's going to be an exciting change. It is a different, interesting type of champion, and I think that's a different flavor. But for now, speaking of flavors, we are not going to have a mountain or infernal flavor. We have a big chance of either one of us being correct here in this game, Tiger. Either an ocean or a cloud soul. It's like a 50-50 chance that one of us is right.
Yeah, they definitely didn't invent 2 new Drakes since you started your Drake announcing system that would make it more difficult for us to get the right answer. But I do think that we've got a good shot here. I'm looking forward to... I want you to be right. I think that I've been right plenty. I think that I'm still better than like the average. So the average would be 17%, right? Because you've got 1 in 6 chance every game, theoretically. And I think that I'm already above that for the season, even if I'm wrong this game. But I want you to have another moment of success here.
I do too. I do as well. And we'll find out what it's going to be as we move into the 8-minute mark. Rift Herald now spawning. Luke RTG will pick up the spare blue buff that Harambe dropped down on Riddy's blue side of the Rift. A little bit of vertical jungling from both teams as they attempt to kind of outsmart each other here in the early stages of the game. Autumn is going to leave. Let's see if they come back. Yeah, they do come back, so not really going to be that big of an issue. Riddy, however, is going to be seen by Harambe and might not be able to finish this. He will be able to avoid the root, though, so should be fine. Uses the clone, uses the blast cone, and gets away. Really the only action that we've seen in the last 2.5 minutes or so.
Well, maybe the only action that we've seen in like the last 4 minutes. I think that this game has been pretty devoid of any major fights. There, of course, was the flash that Wind Trading had to blow to get out of a gank. But other than that, I haven't seen a whole lot of stuff going on anywhere on the map. And I think that that's really advantageous for Team Ambition Shogun because, as we talked about before, they are gathering their resources more effectively. You can see it's CS advantage in the jungle. It's not like big leads anymore, but they are up in gold, and they're looking for a play.
Yeah, Wind Trading going to have to use that flash, avoiding the Petrifying Gaze stun. Being able to get out of that one is big, but it is going to be a crash in the mid lane here, Tiger. We've got Harambe, Luke, Daisy, and Autumn. It's 3.5 champions trying to be able to potentially get something down over here. And Wind Trading is going to be at very low state. Respirit is going to be in trouble. Flash might have to get used here as Whimsy will get dropped to get that extra movement speed. Going to be able to get out of that one. So Wind Trading and Respirit are going to be relatively low. Riddy is going to come in with the clone, but will decide not to pull the trigger on the Nimbus Strike onto Harambe. Nimbus Strike will not be played. Cyclone will not be used. Meanwhile, in the top lane, it is actually going to be Ghost and Teleport getting used by Severe Needlework coming in, and a pretty exciting 1v1 there in the top lane as Spirit is going to be down to 1 HP. That's going to be Renfist picking up first blood, and the game has exploded into action Rift Wide.
Action Rift Wide, still a little bit low on the kill count for my tastes, but you know, getting one is better than 0. On the board now for Renfist. That's where you want your gold if you are a Vespa B team. So gonna be feeling pretty good about that. Still down by 1,000 gold. Lost out on the first Drake. Gonna lose out on the first Rift Herald here, I'd imagine. But they definitely have showed that they can fight a lot and win a lot of these fights that they take, even if they are in a little bit more of a difficult position on the gold. So I don't think that they'll be too shy about this one. Can still look to contest, actually bringing up everyone. They're going to have a 3v2 here momentarily.
Who's going to get the Rift Herald? It's Riddy that's going to be able to get it. The Cyclone comes through. He's going to get knocked up by HP Gamer, and that's going to be Riddy going down. Harambe has 1 HP. The Root's going to land on a Severe, and it's a double kill for HP Gamer, who has continued their phenomenal series in the top lane.
About an even trade, because with all the resources sent towards the top side of the map, that means once again Rapid Fire just taking turret plates left and right throughout the series. Going to be able to finish this one off, it looks like, pretty quickly here. If not on this push, on the next one, but it will go down here. And that means that the gold's still going to be advantageous for Shogun. Just going to be continuing to stack up their natural advantages, and Rapid Fire in a very strong spot now, finishing off the cull. In addition to taking that whole tower, should be able to come back to lane with an item.
Yep, and with that Noon Quiver already and the pickaxe, it's probably going to be that Kraken Slayer that will get picked up. Infernal Drake is now on the table here, Tiger, and a teleport is going to get expended by HP Gamer into the mid lane. They are expending resources in order to make sure that they secure this dragon, and they will. Dragon is going to come through, and will either one of us be correct? Can we pick a dragon correctly here in this series? The answer is no. It's a Chemtech Soul for Game 3.
Well, that's too bad. We'll have to come back stronger in the playoffs, but we got top lane action going on as well.
Needlework coming in, not gonna land the effective damage there, and HP Gamer is gonna be able to clear out the minion wave. Shelly is gonna get its guaranteed headbutt, and that is about it. But that is a barely play, as Root is gonna land here on Riddy. The clone's gonna come through, and he's gonna be able to get out of that play there. 4 members of the squad are going to be there, as Riddy is going to get rooted once again by Harambe. That's going to be the Cyclone coming through, and now Harambe, maybe overextended. Rapid Fire comes in and picks up their first kill. Big play here for the side of TA Shogun.
The more this game goes on, the more I feel like Elise was the pick, because we see the situations where Harambe is doing things on Ivern that are similar to Elise, but it's just things that Elise does better. And I want to see that damage pop off coming through, but Harambe not going to be able to back up the CC with any damage of his own. Going to be very reliant on teammates as the game continues here. And see if that will help out. Now we've got a pretty big lead coming through from Shogun, out over 2,000 gold. And Rapid Fire at the forefront of it, doing a ton of damage to Autumn just with the ricochets.
Yeah, and I really like that the decision there was to change up the top side of the Rift. Banning out the Warwick was, I think, effective in making sure that they were able to get an advantageous top lane. Because if you remember, Severe and Riddy were pretty much, destined, or, they had to stay in the top side of the Rift for a extensive amount of time in Game 2, and that allowed for Luke RTG to just sort of pop off here. And in this game, we haven't really been able to see that yet, because HP Gamer has not been able to bully Severe as effectively as they did in Game 1, or I'm sorry, in Game 2. Still is doing well, don't get me wrong, has that Black Cleaver and is still, trying to be able to go towards that Titanic Hydra and will probably get this tower before Severe will, but not at the same effectiveness that we saw in game 2. And that is putting Harambe into a really difficult position. Doesn't have his mythic item still at 15 minutes. Still is way behind in CS, which was not what we saw in game 2 when it was Ivern versus Velbeth. And this is all pointing to a really good game 3 here for TA Shogun.
Still pretty close. I think it could go either way here. HP Gamer are going to be looking to carry on this Urgot. Ended up throwing the last ulti a bit wide, but gets a lot more utility with the Urgot than he gets with the Warwick. So while I agree that banning away the Warwick probably helped to shore up the early game for the side of TA Shogun, I think that in the later stages of the game, the Urgot's going to feel better. In the team fights, you want to be able to get that Fear Beyond Death onto multiple members of the enemy team with the CC part of it and use it to get a big execute onto a key member of the enemy team. And there's a lot of good setup to go around with it, so I think that the shift isn't going to harm VESPA B team as much as it might have if they hadn't been prepared to shift their pick.
And now we move towards the mid lane here, and we look at Wind trading versus Luke. I think Luke is playing a really good Cassiopeia game, staying in contest with Wind in terms of CS, picked up that Rod of Ages at the 12-minute mark. It might have been like 12:30 or so, but already halfway there from being able to pick up the 10 stacks on the Rod of Ages and getting that guaranteed level just continues to allow for Vespa B team to scale up. They are not in a bad position at all here, and because they were able to pick up that Infernal Drake, it means that they didn't allow for TA Shogun to kind of, run away with the game on the bottom side of the rift there. Rapid Fire is still very strong, but isn't in a position where they're going to be able to carry just yet. They aren't in a position where they're going to be able to find a massive advantage at this moment. And TA Shogun recognizes this, I think. They know that they're going to be potentially in trouble, and Wind Trading is in trouble. Face checking the brush is going to get rooted, is going to get stunned, is going to be 1 HP away from the Fear Beyond Death, but does get out of it. HP Gamer is all alone now, and Severe will be the one that takes that kill in the top lane. Vengeance there for TA Shogun.
Oh, it was so close. All you got to do is connect on that Fear Beyond Death. It doesn't end up coming through. That means that HP Gamer gets isolated. Still looks like we might have a contest here, but look at the flank by Severe.
Yeah, trying to be able to come through. That skip and snip can still be super effective there. 3,000 HP remaining until the dragon goes down. Harambe, can he get it? He cannot. Riddy is going to get stunned from the Petrifying Gaze, and now it is a 4v5. Severe is going to come in with the damage as Autumn is going to drop a big barrier thanks to Harambe, and that Shirelli is coming in. Wind Trading is low. HP Gamer coming in with that teleport, trying to be able to maybe pick up a kill. Renfist is going to dash in, but no one will die. Dragon will be taken by TA Shogun, and it is just a 1 and a dragon for the side of TA Shogun there, as that Fear Beyond Death was a little sus.
Yeah, even if you connect it, I'm not sure you can get the kill with it. I don't know exactly how much damage it does off hand, so could be more damage than I expected. But now HP Gamer without the ultimate gonna have to be careful about what type of fight he wants to take.
Gonna be okay. Does still have the flash and still is a relatively scary, top laner with that Black Cleaver. Now has the Mercury Treads to boot as well, which not only denies a little bit of the CC that the side of Shogun might be trying to go for, but also has some health bars and also just has a little bit of oomph moving into it. Rift Herald's going to be started by Wind Trading, but I think it was more just to see if there was anything there. There is not. I don't think that Riddy has enough time to get it, and yeah, Shelly will die. Baron will spawn in 20 minutes. I do not think that we're going to get a 20-minute start on Baron for either team. It is still too close to call. Despite the 4,000 gold advantage for TA Shogun, I am still not counting Vespa B team out of this. I still think they have plenty of scaling moving in to the mid to late game. They still have plenty of options to find a good team fight. And that last team fight did not go too poorly for them. They almost got the kills, but they obviously would have loved to have gotten more.
Well, I'm not going to count them out of it, but I will say that Team Ambition has control of the game at this point. I think that they should be able to push forward with the more dangerous objectives starting to come towards the Rift, with the Baron now available. VESPA B team has very little margin for error. They're going to need to win out on the coming up team fights. They're going to need to show that they are able to utilize their strength in that fighting in the 5v5s to be able to put pressure on the map, because as the game continues, the gold lead is just steadily increasing. It's already crept up from 4,000 to 4.5 while we've been talking here, and it just keeps on getting bigger because we keep seeing TA Shogun be able to take their resources more effectively.
And, you know, that is that split pushing power that Severe and Wind Trading are able to put in because of the, you know, the stability on their kit. Wind is a little bit scarier to kind of move around the Rift and be over in that side lane. Obviously, no flash. Does have the gravity well to potentially escape any potential picks. But at the moment, we're looking at, you know, VESPA B team that hasn't yet been able to initiate a fight that they've wanted. It has been TA Shogun that has been the ones to decide when and where fights are going to happen. And I'm waiting to see, you know, Harambe find that big root. I'm waiting to see Autumn find that amazing play with the encore. There are chances of that happening here as we move into these team fights. And once again, it feels like it's going to be decided at the Baron and Dragon Pits of who's going to be able to take this game. Chemtech Soul is about 9 minutes away if TA Shogun is able to get this next one spawning in a minute. I don't know if that's something that they necessarily need, or if they're going to try to go for a Baron play like they did in Game 1.
Well, I haven't had the highest accuracy with my predictions today, but this game is starting to feel like the kind that might stall out for quite a while longer. I wouldn't be surprised if we got past the 35, 37 minute mark and we were still going.
It makes sense. I mean, especially considering that we've got champions on both teams that are trying to still be able to scale up. The big development now at the 22-minute mark is that Luke did pop that Rod of Ages, did get that 10th stack, and is also on their way to being able to pick up that Seraph's Embrace. So not doing too bad here in that department. On the other side of things, Teleport is going to be taken by HP Gamer in the bottom lane here. Going to be seen by that ward, but will be able to move in. I'm curious now, with the commitment on the Teleport from HP Gamer, how does TA Shogun respond to this? Do they allow them to go for the Dragon? Do they go for a play in the mid lane? Do they go for a play at Baron? We'll have to find out.
I've read this book before. They're going down the mid lane, and if it's a 5-man commit from Vespa towards the Drake, they'll just take 2 towers.
Yeah, we saw it in Game 1, and now we got Severe coming in with a flank once again. But Severe is spotted out. They know that Severe is in the area and can go for a kill. Harambe is going to drop Daisy and is going to be forced to flash away. Daisy is now the target. You can get Daisy down. That's your ultimate from your Ivern dead. And Riddy's going to be able to come through. Riddy is going to get the knockup on Harambe and wants the second one, using the extra movement speed that Cyclone provides to be able to pick up that kill. Meanwhile, the Petrifying Gaze is going to come in. Wind Trading is going to be extremely low. The charm from Autumn. Severe is going to be able to take down Autumn, but it's going to be kills for Vespa. Rapid Fire is going to be able to take down Renfis on the back side of that fight. HP Gamer and Luke RTG are still alive. It's Severe and Rapid Fire against them. Who will win out? It doesn't really look like either team got the win that they wanted. They both made plays, but neither one of them are able to have a big advantage moving into this Dragon fight. HP Gamer has a low health bar, but Rapid Fire and Severe are both at half HP. Can Luke be the one to save this fight for the side of Vespa V team? And it looks like they might be able to. Luke is going to be able to shut down Rapid Fire, and the Boomerang will take down HP Gamer. Now Luke is at the Chemtech Drake. Teleport is going to come in for Severe. Harambe is going to come through, and the Dragon will go to Vespa B team.
Well, now that is a team fight. We've been lacking for them all day, but it's a 4-for-4. That one duration of at least 30 seconds. Both teams going back and forth, teleporting back in after the deaths. That's what I'm talking about. That's the League of Legends that I wanted to see. Not going to be a big swing in the gold off of that, but at least delaying for a bit longer is going to feel nice for VESPA B team. Maybe got a few shutdowns as well there. But both sides playing that out pretty expertly, going to be able to get a lot of gold onto key members. We see Rapid Fire having a few more kills on the back end. Luke able to make the play there to keep that one alive. Health bar so large. Great power spike to go towards with the two items when you've got a Seraph and a Roa. So that was the team fight that VESPA needed. They were able to at least do well enough to keep this game alive. And if they can find a few more like that, then this is going to start looking a lot closer.
2,500 gold. That is how much Luke had in their inventory when they backed away out of that fight. They are now 2/3 of the way to that Rabadon's Death Cap Tiger, and that is when Cassiopeia starts to be very, very, very annoying. So, looking to find when that comes in. Are they going to be able to continue to find those amazing petrifying gazes? And to your credit, Tiger, Autumn finding an amazing encore in that last fight was a game changer for VESPA B team. On the other hand, Rapid Fire being able to stay alive picks up those Navori quick blades and the Phantom Dancer. Means that they're going to have an item advantage against Renfis, who is 3-1-1. They're both 3-1-1. But because of all the turret plates and because of the CS advantage, it is an item diff right now for Rapid Fire on the Severe.
We'll see if there's going to be more action to be had in this game. Looks like it could be back to the battle for picks here for the moment. Just going to be a little bit of a flurry there of damage back and forth. Could be some big damage coming down for both sides around the Baron, but it's a lot less synchronized on the arrival here for the start of the Baron, because Baron's been up for like 8 minutes already, so now going to be finally started up. Vision should be on it with that landing for Harambe, and now we know what's going on. Could be a 5v5. Watch for Severe on the flank.
The Baron is going to reset, and now it's actually VESPA making the decision to go on it. It is melting again. Big damage on to Riddy, though, who's going to be at 2/3 HP, 6,000 health remaining as Daisy will go down. Baron is going to get deleashed once again at half HP. Now he's going to be back to full HP, and both teams trying to be able to find it. Who will be able to pick up this Baron? It looks like neither team wanting to commit to it. They're going to go for some neutral objectives. They're going to go towards pushing towards the mid lane. Riddy is going to find the knock-up. Haram is going to be forced to flash away. And now Luke, missing the petrifying gaze, is going to be able to get the ground onto Wind. But both teams, once again, being able to survive, as Harambe, with no flash, is not going to be able to get into the Baron pit. Baron's going to be started again by TA.
Harambe no flash is a big cooldown, but right now the ults that were expended for it are a bigger cooldown, so there's a window for VESPA to go for the play.
Yeah, and low health bars on all sides of TA Shogun. They are so low, and they're going to be forced to back away. Spirit is going to be there, going to be able to get Renfis, try to get off of Baron for a second, and the teleport's now going to come through for Win. Who gets this Baron? Severe is going to come in. Who will get the Baron? Riddy is going to be on it. Riddy is dead, and it's going to go towards VESPA B team. Wind and Respirit are going to try to get out of this one. Renfis is going to be dealing damage in on Wind. Severe is going to be in trouble with no Hollowed Mist. Lulu is in trouble trying to get away from the Urgot. Urgot wants to taste purple, and he's going to try to get it. But Respirit is too fast and will be able to get away. The dragon is up in 30 seconds, and Baron goes to VESPA.
Still, the gold lead has not been swayed. Still sticking around 4,000 gold. But now, with the Baron buff, there's so much more opportunity to take this standing gold for VESPA. And with the team fight victory with the Baron +1, they're going to be in prime position to fight for this Drake. They'll be able to push their waves out finally, and they should be in a good spot to be able to take this fight if it does come to them.
Chemtech Drake does not stand a chance against HP Gamer, and the damage that Renfis is able to drop. Soul Point now on the table for the side of VESPA B team. That will be up at around the 35-minute mark, as you predicted, Tiger. This game is going to go down to the wire. Baron is now down for another 440, which means that the Baron buff is up for another minute 37 or so. It's going to be a little bit of a brush play coming in from Riddy, landing the knockup on the multiple members. Rapid Fire is going to take down Harambe. Riddy will take down Renfis, and it's a big double pick for Team Ambition Shogun.
That'll shut the Baron power play straight down, but not going to be able to force that much further on the back end of it. Still difficult to walk into a Baroned up team. Will be able to push towards this tier 2 tower. If they could kill off Luke, they could end the game, but that's a lot easier said than done. I think they'll just have to take the tier 2, back it off, get ready for the next fight when it's coming. Going to be able to get a tier 2 bot as well, so that actually does a lot to expand upon the gold lead out to past 6.5k now, pushing towards 7k. Going to be able to take some of the enemy jungle as well. Going to be a few camps there for them. And maybe looking to take a third tier 2 tower here, right now. Going to be able to finish that one off. It's just the base left intact for VESPA B team, and that means that they're going to have to be really on the back foot here, but they will have a shot at a desperation play. If they can finish off the Chemtech Soul, then they'll be in that much better of a position to fight going forward.
It's so rough to see that pick landing on to Harambe and Renfis completely took the wind out of Vespa B team sails there. They still have Baron for a couple of seconds, and they will be able to get some damage and push the way towards that mid tier 1 tower. And with 4 members there in the mid lane, they will be able to pick that one up. They at least get something with their Baron. But looking at the gold, it was almost a 2,000 gold advantage on that Baron power play for Team Ambition Shogun. They ended up getting everything that they wanted. They got 3 inner towers. They got all those minion waves pushed up. And now it's the response from Vespa B team. They were able to stabilize their waves, and they were able to push out the wave in the mid lane and in the bottom lane. They'll pick up the tier 1 towers in both of them. And now it's up to Team Ambition Shogun and for Vespa to set up a good lane condition for these neutral objectives that are spawning at pretty much the same time.
Let's take a quick look at the items. Just now completing the death cap is Severe. Going to be on 3 items here for the Gwen. Going to be 3 items, just about everyone on the team. 4 actually now complete for Rapid Fire. Still looking to be the big carry. On the other side, though, we can see that everyone is pretty much level. Going to be a lot of focus on the carry coming out from Renfis, but even if Renfis falls, there's other members of Vespa B team that can still carry, particularly Luke, looking to get close to that. I'm expecting to be a Rylai's coming up 4th, but we'll see what it ends up being. Still down by a significant chunk of gold here is Vespa B team, but as the game continues, it matters less and less.
Yeah, I think, for on Luke's side of things, 1, 0, and 5 right now, I think that the Rylai's is the optimal choice. I mean, Demonic Embrace is the other item that builds into that, right? So it's like, those are the only 2 options that you can try to go for, but I think Rylai's in the opportunity to be able to slow down Riddy and Severe in these fights, so that you have a little bit of extra inherent peel, can be pretty big. But if we could take a look at the gold really quick, Wookie, I don't think, it's not going to be available. Whatever it is, Rylai's or Demonic Embrace will not be available for Luke coming into these fights happening in 40 seconds. Soul Point potentially.
By Elixir.
That's true. If he's able to get it, he does have teleport as well. So let's see if they're going to be able to find that. Meanwhile, rest of TA Shogun is in the mid lane, pushing that up. They have minion wave priority again in all 3 lanes.
Yep, trying to push that out. That's what we've seen so effective all day from Team Ambition Shogun. They've been able to manage the state of the game so well. Looks like the call might just be to exchange Drake for Baron, and we may get the game delayed even further. It seems to be the case. Should be no issue taking that Baron down pretty quickly. Not going to be as fast as the Drake, but should go down in a matter of seconds here. Probably about 3 more seconds until that one goes down. And with the second Baron buff, if they can get more than they got on the first, then they'll be in pretty good shape. But they're already leaking on the inhib tower.
Yeah, severe. Just dealing so much damage every time. And rapid fire coming in, dealing away another tower here. And is going to use the On the Hunt to try to get Ridian Rapid Fire away. Rapid Fire going to deal some damage on Red Fist. Fist goes too far in, and Wind will be the one that picks up that kill. That is your ADC, and you lose a Baron on them again, Tiger.
Yeah, I mean, you've still got another DPS champion in the Cassiopeia, but it hurts a lot to have the 4v5 coming through, and we've already seen that Shogun isn't afraid to siege out against this Baron buff. Their wave clear is really good between Victor and Sivir, so they don't have any problems pushing through those waves, and once they get to the towers, they can do a lot of work as well. So VESPA B team needs to do a lot of work on clearing out waves and maybe looking for a pick.
Yeah, the Wild Growth's going to land on Respirit as the root does come through. Luke is going to be able to get away. Petrifying Gaze was not popped. But all the while, Inhibitor was taken just practically for free. There for TA Shogun, they recognized that they had the power play with Renfist down, and they get that mid lane advantage guaranteed for the next 5 minutes. That means that the Dragon is going to be up while the Inhibitor is still down for VESPA. So TA Shogun very happy about being able to get that lane priority.
It's not like having the top lane inhib down where you can't really do anything about the wave naturally pushing. So VESPA B team still has an opportunity here. They need to get grouped up before the Drake comes up, push through the mid lane, and then go into the river once they get the wave pushed out. But that's going to be difficult against a team that's likely to be pushing against them throughout this time period. Should be able to get the wave at least back to even. Not going to be seeing anything like the tier 2 tower being sieged out, but I imagine that if it's played properly by VESPA B team, they'll at least get a fair shot at a fight. And if they do, then, you know, you never know what's going to happen around that Drake pit. You never know who's going to get in. Maybe be able to steal that one away. Maybe get the 50-50 smite fight. And it's all going to come down to execution here. I think TA Shogun are going to be the favored ones, but they were the favored ones coming into today, and I don't think things have gone quite how they'd planned. So we'll see if one more thing can fall the way of VESPA B team, and maybe they can secure game number 3.
Well, we have 2 minutes remaining until that Dragon does spawn. Baron is now complete for the side of VESPA. You have to wonder, had Renfist not died there, would that have been the opportunity for them to be able to get those inner towers down? Just with a quick math here, there's 2,500 gold available for VESPA to clean up if they wanted to, if they were able to get those side lanes figured out. But you're at a point now where getting that influx of gold and bringing it from a 6k gold lead to a 5 or a 4k or 3k gold lead is going to be relatively ineffective. You've got big items on your carries. You've got the Rylai's completed here for Luke. You've got the Zhonya's Hourglass completed for Harambe. You've got the Phantom Dancer and the Devorti Quickblades completed for Renfist. So now it's going to be up to, you know, finding those right picks like you were talking about and try and find those plays. And right now, TA Shogun is still being the ones that are aggressing. They are the ones that are deciding when and where these fights are happening, pushing in towards the bottom side of the rift.
This is the peak point of power of this game for TA Shogun. They've got everything online that they want. It's full build for rapid fire. They're in position on this Drake. They're pushing out the bot wave and continuing to threaten towards the base. Everything's where they want it to be. But if they don't get things figured out right now, if they don't finish off the soul and push towards the end, then things could get a lot hairier for them because they're not going to get any more power into their big carry in rapid fire. They're not going to get any more power out of any future gold going that direction. So they've got to take advantage of the now when they have that massive advantage, because it's just going to diminish as the rest of the game continues.
Dragon is now up, and we've got teleports coming in for both sides. Another 5v5 is Shurelia's. It's going to be available here for Harambe. Can it be effective as the Chaos Storm is still available? Brent is going to go into the Static Surges. It's going to be an encore. Landed from Autumn. Shut down onto Wind. There's the Fear Beyond Death from HP Gamer, and it's collapsing. Severe is going to be able to get a double kill
Rapid fire still up.
Oh my god! Severe is the one that comes in with the triple kill. They're going to look to end the game. Luke is dead. Harambe is the only one alive. Severe is going to teleport in and try to end the game. First, they want to take down Harambe. Can Harambe get out of this one? No, they cannot. It's the ace and the win for TA Shogun.
Oh, what a great attempt there by VESPA B team. It looks like the inhib may come back up right in time, but I don't think it'll save anyone. Not going to save the game because no one's going to respawn in time. Should be an easy take, and it looks like Shogun will advance to 5-1. Definitely a deserved victory, but VESPA B team putting everyone on notice here. They are not a team to be trifled with. They are going to be able to give just about anyone a good fight. They almost came out on top here. That last fight, they found a perfect angle to get it on their terms, but unfortunately, rapid fire was just too strong. And with Severe able to pincer from the other side, they weren't able to turn it into a 5v3, 5v2 and come out on top. But still, definitely both teams playing at a high level here, and I appreciate all of the efforts from the players.
Yeah, I mean, bravo, round of applause to both teams. I mean, it was such a great game from Vespa B team. They kept it on the edge of our seat, and I think anyone would be lying if TA Shogun said that they weren't nervous. Like, that could have gone so bad for them, and they could have lost that team fight. But had, Rapid Fire not had that Guardian Angel, had Severe not been able to get that flank, we could have been seeing a much different game, and we might have had a much different conclusion here for this game, this series, and the Void division. And Vespa B team putting in a lot of effort. I mean, really well done to them, and making it a very entertaining final game, final series here of the regular season. I do think that they're still going to be able to make it into the playoffs if my math says it correct. I'm not 100% sure. Don't quote me on that, but I believe that is the case. And the caliber of, like, I said it last week, and I'm going to say it again. The caliber of players and the caliber of just overall performance that we have seen here from the AML this split has been such a privilege here on the casting side of things to watch. Every game has been so exciting. Every game has been so impactful, and I cannot wait to get into the postseason next week.
It's going to be exciting. Definitely don't want to miss that one. I think that once the gauntlet comes in, we're going to see a lot more teams scrapping in a similar way to what we saw from Vespa B team today. I think that there's going to be a lot closer matchups throughout the rest of the season. Not that we haven't already had a ton of close matchups on AML broadcasts. We've been treated to a lot of great matches. Today, definitely heavily amongst those great matches. But I think that once we see teams that are a little bit more evenly matched up, maybe than what we saw today, then it's just going to get even crazier.
Yeah, and I mean, I cannot wait to see how it's going to be played out. Let's find out. We'll find out next week as the qualifiers begin. Now, remember that is going to be the start of a 3-week split, Swiss bracket. So, going to be an opportunity for a lot of players and a lot of teams to be able to find an opportunity to take their guaranteed spot in the playoffs. If you lose out in qualifiers, you do not get into that top 8, or that, I'm sorry, that top 16 12 bracket. Pardon me, I'm dying over here. My brain is messing up. But yeah, it's going to be a phenomenal start. It's going to be again 5 p.m. next week, Tuesday. Wookie Tiger and myself will be there to cast it all, and it's going to be a blast. I can't wait to get it done. But with that being said, that is going to do it today for the regular season. We're going to be back again next week for the start of the qualifiers. Be sure to check out the ACL and the AGL on Friday, the APL on Monday, and come back again, same time, same channel, for the AML next week. On behalf of all the players, the coordinators, the staff here at Aegis Esports, Wookie Monster Tiger, and myself, this has been the Aegis Marauders League. Take care, and we'll see you guys next week.